Broadcasting Network. It's me. It's Big B. I'm up here in the booth, and we are bringing you coverage tonight. Oh, we got a special one, ladies and gentlemen. The Top Fuel IndyCar Series. And it's not just Top Fuel IndyCar. It's the Top Fuel Indy 500. We're going to have a damn near full field tonight. You see them cars up there on pit road. We got qualifying. It's going to start in about 5 minutes. We got a full field, man. It's going to be a barn burner. $1,000 on the line tonight. $1,000 purse up for grabs in this race. Top Fuel, brought to you by ESPN, the Esports Broadcasting Network. Myself, Byron Rodney, up here in the booth. And I promised you a couple of surprises when I came on. And my surprises, they kind of go like this. Surprise number one. Ladies and gentlemen, you're joining us on YouTube. Give us a like. And let us know how this is going for you. Because we here at ESPN, we're bringing it to you in Ultra 4K High Def. Yes, you heard me right. Ultra 4K High Def. Just turn those settings and get the highest definition you can for this broadcast. The paint jobs look sharp. The track looks sharp. We're going 200 laps around Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Surprise number 2, ladies and gentlemen. I promised you a special surprise. Joining me up in the booth tonight, Ryan. No introductions needed. Let me bring it to you. Fire it on up, my friend. Special guest announcer. He ain't a guest announcer. He's my brother. He's my partner. Bring it on.
Stories about my demise have been greatly over-exaggerated. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back.
He's back. You know the name. Tony Batrapasso, ladies and gentlemen. He's the one that coined the term that I use to describe loose conditions on cars, and that's snap, see you, bye. And, man, Tony, what do you think, man? We're going to have a barn burner of a race tonight, or what?
Absolutely. I'm looking at the entry list, and from... If you take a look at right now at just the practice results, you've got the top 20 cars separated by less than half a second.
Yeah, that tells you that everyone's running on these tracks. They put some time behind the wheel. They put some practice in. Thousands of laps have been turned, tens of thousands by a few drivers I've talked to tonight. And they're running the same setup, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone's out there on the track. Gonna run that same setup. It's not an open set like we do on Saturday Night NASCAR. Everyone's got the same gear. It's a matter of how you work that throttle, a matter of how you work that brake pedal, and how easy you are in the steering and holding a pretty wheel, and how you hit your marks going around here. Tony, take us a lap around Indianapolis with your experience, man, in these cars. What do you think?
Well, I mean, you're banging down the front straightaway, and you're full tilt boogie. If you're in somebody's draft, you're probably going to be in 6th gear. Otherwise, generally you run in 5th, unless you're in fuel save mode, in which case then, yeah, you're in 6th. But you're going to probably want to run most of your lap, if you're leading the freight train, in 5th gear. You haul it off into turn number 1. Hopefully nobody's to your inside. That's where your mirrors are definitely going to come into play. As you try to make that arc into that corner, you want to be right down towards that white line as tight as you can possibly get it without actually putting 2 tires over it, because there's no grip on the other side of those marbles.
No, none whatsoever. And another thing about it, too, is iRacing's done a lot of updating with tire models. They've done a lot of updating with the way the cars are handling on the track. Checking our weather conditions today. If I can find my right button, there it is. We are 78 degrees with a track temp of 119, man. And you put that kind of rubber on that heat of a track, you're going to get a little bit of slipping and sliding, especially when you're in that aero, behind those other cars. Aero push is going to be real.
Well, what's generally going to happen, because you're going to need to put so much wheel into it, I'm going to borrow this one from Sterling Marlin when he said, it's kind of a loosey, tighty, kind of like driving an old log wagon, because you're going to have to put so much wheel into it, and when you finally grab traction, you got to be ready to unwind that wheel quickly. Not turn it to the right, just unwind the wheel back to neutral and let it catch itself. Otherwise, you're going to Dan Weldon yourself.
Yeah, and when we ran the Indy 500, I ran the Indy Fix, the iRacing official Indy Fix 500. And the handling on this thing, yeah, we were right about the fuel, man. 5th gear, if you're leading that pack train, you can settle down 3rd to, place to like 6th place. If you're in the, conga line, you can run 6 gears, save a little bit of fuel, but you did not have the grip on corner entry, especially trying to get around someone on corner exit. I noticed that the setup, it will suck up in the draft really hard, but it tended to want to do it towards corner exit. So you had that long straightaway where everyone's going to do the Indy Snake to break that draft to try to get around someone, making that dive in on corner entry a hard thing to do, especially with arrow push when you want to slide up the track.
Very much so, and the biggest thing is you're going to have to time your runs. This entire race, every time that we've done the Indy 500 with the Top Fuel guys, Scott Brinson and his team do a great job creating a setup that's drivable, but you've got to stay on top of it. And tire management's going to be key, because if you don't time your runs right, like you just said, it's going to push like a plow truck on ice, and then it's going to grab traction, and you're going to be screwed. You're not going to have a fun time. No. But if you can figure out how to time the run so that you can get to somebody's inside as you're going into the corner, you're going to get them on corner exit.
Yeah, and it's not just a corner, folks. Indianapolis is its own kind of animal. We have what we call a short chute up between turn 1 and turn 2. And the same thing in turn 3 and turn 4. They may look the same, but they handle different at other ends of the track. So where you time your passes and how you get them done is going to be key on this. Talking to a lot of the drivers pre-race down in the garage, I've noticed that the fuel window on these things, depending on whether you're in that 5th gear leading the pack or you're on the 6th gear, I'm going to save some fuel. 28 laps to 33 laps is the fuel window. And a lot of guys were saying, hey, pay attention because they may be peeling off after 27.
Hey, and if I could interject there, I'm just going to say I ran this thing also earlier under this fixed setup. And if you get, everybody's got their pattern around here. If you get a little bit out of your pattern in one of those turns, there's going to be a tendency for you want to try to make it right. And a lot of people are going to just over adjust and this and that. Sometimes just got to let it go and get to the next turn. Just got to be careful with people just trying to fix a bad situation.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is too, this track being that it's symmetrical, it's very easy in the heat of battle to not realize where on the track you are, as far as, okay, am I going into turn 1? Am I going into turn 3? It's very easy to do that. You've got the grandstand on the front chute, but when you're concentrating on your mirror and your particular line, it's very easy to miss where you are on the track, and that's when things go horribly wrong, because generally the way that the wind works on this track is the wind blows diagonally across, usually from turn 3 to turn 1. So there's almost a 45-degree angle for the wind as you're shooting down the backstretch. It's kind of a headwind. And then on the front stretch, you've got a tailwind, so you can pick up a couple more mile an hour on the front stretch than you can on the backstretch.
Yeah, qualifying's... Oh, sorry to interrupt you there, Hoot. Joining us in the booth tonight, kind of doing pit reporting, kind of being a roving reporter and joining us up in here. I'm sorry I didn't introduce you a little earlier. Mr. Hoot Baker.
Hello, all. I was just going to say, reinforce what Tony said. I'm looking down the map right now, and we've got it's not much, but there's a 2 mile an hour headwind in the back straight. It's almost directly in, dead on.
And the thing is, too, 2 miles an hour, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't sound like much, but when you're hauling off into turn 1 at 232 miles an hour, 2 miles an hour of crosswind as you come in between 1 and 2 is huge at that speed.
Yeah, qualifying's going on the track right now. Taking a look at, got the camera taking a look at Nate Siefker making laps right now. Right now, he's holding down that top spot. Nate Siefker laying down a qualifying lap. I'm seeing his best lap was a 39.672. But, it's 4 laps that get you qualified here. Nate
Chris
Seeker,
Walker to the top of the board.
Oh, my gosh. And he is only 6/100ths of a second above Nate Seeker's best effort.
Well, the thing is, too, I mean, you've got a lot of guys in here that ran and placed well in the official iRacing Indy 500 races.
We have some Indy 500 winners in here.
Well, we sometimes have current Indy drivers. One of the names that I'm seeing is just glaring name that's missing is
Sage Karam.
Thank you.
Oh, and one thing I just want to bring up, Ben. It has been a long time since we had you up in the booth. I've missed you personally. I know Sam's missed you personally. iRacing has missed you personally. And I just want to throw a heartfelt welcome back, man. You couldn't have come back on a better race and a more fun time here at Indy.
Well, Scotty called me a couple weeks ago and said, "Hey, can you do this?" I said, "Well, right now I kind of don't have the funds to, to pay for the account." And for those of you who don't know, I make no qualms about it. For approximately the past year, I've either lived in homeless shelters or hospitals or rehabilitation centers. I had a bad motorcycle accident last August, shattered my left leg, and since then I've been in and out of rehabilitation centers. I'm in a place right now that the rehabilitation center that I was in, I'm back in New York State. They sent me here, and I'm still pissed that I got hit by a car and nobody knows who the car was. But on the plus side, I've met an awesome woman who means the absolute world to me, and 2 weeks ago I asked her to marry me, and she said yes.
Well, you heard it right here, folks. Congratulations are in order for Mr. One Tony Pat Trapasso. I want to be the one to congratulate you. Great, that's great news, man. Every storm cloud's got a silver lining, and you found your silver lining in that storm cloud.
Very much so. She is definitely not only my silver lining, she's my jewel.
Oh, great. Taking a look back at our qualifying board, Chris Walker still holding down the top spot. Rick Ravon, there's a driver I need to talk to you about a little bit. He had a great showing last year's Indy 500, got taken out in the end stages of the race by a very questionable move from a driver who, I'll just say his questionable moves, he's no longer here. But he's one of the favorites I've got, just 1/100th of a second behind the top qualifying spot. And don't look now, but who's got that third spot? Let's talk about this gentleman, Mr. Ronnie Osmer.
ARCA driver, super late model driver, mini dirt late model driver, college student who the kid is going to school for motorsports marketing. So, I mean, you can't really beat what he's going for. Hell of a driver, hell of a nice kid. If any sponsors out there are watching this and you're looking for a young, talented driver who is well-spoken and will work very well with sponsors, Ronnie's your kid.
Well, let's talk about what happened at Daytona. NASCAR's been on hiatus. They just came back recently, with all this COVID-19, hullabaloo going on. But in Speed Weeks in February, when the cars were able to take the tracks, the ARCA cars, Ronnie Osmer went out there as a shakedown driver to do some test runs for Our Motorsports for their team. He got out there, and in the ARCA classes, you have Haley Deegan. You got
there's money in
Natalie Decker. There's money in it, and you have proteges of Kevin Harvick out there. You've got Junior's kids out there. You've got Joe Gibbs Racing has a program in ARCA. Ronnie went out there and put his name on the top of the leaderboard at Daytona in Speed Weeks during testing. Nobody could touch him. The other teams went out there. They wouldn't draft with him. Ronnie's father, funny story about that is Ronnie's dad was spotting for him, and his dad walked over to one of the Joe Gibbs drivers, spotters, and said, hey, how come you won't draft with this guy here, our Motorsports? He's in the Andy Seuss machine. And they said, nah, we don't want to draft with him. He's too damn slow. Well, Ronnie goes out there, puts his name on the top of the leaderboard, and all the big high-dollar teams, they got their drivers back out of the motor coach, back in their cars, and back on track trying to top him, and they couldn't do it.
Yeah, that was really, a spectacular deal. Unfortunately, Ronnie had to go back to campus and was unable to actually participate in the ARCA Series race during Speed Weeks. But that was definitely a hell of a performance that he put on as a shakedown driver. And as a matter of fact, the driver that he was shaking the car down for, I believe, finished top 5 with the setup that Ronnie helped build.
Yeah, Andy Seuss, I can't remember where he did finish. I was watching that race. ARCA race had quite a few cautions in it. But speaking of Andy Seuss and Our Motorsports, Ronnie is probably sitting inside their shop in their sim rig online for this race tonight. He's got himself a job working for that team, helping them prepare their Xfinity program and working on their ARCA program. And I hope, and I pray that he will earn the honor to hold down the driver's seat in the ARCA program or the Xfinity through them.
Yeah, that would be great. And like I said, any sponsors out there listening, Ronnie Osmer's your guy if you're looking to get into the sport with somebody that's going to represent your company well.
Yeah, taking a look out on the track, qualifying still going on. Scotty Brinson got the camera focused in on him, the number 14 entry, and he's getting ready to log his first timed lap. See where he shakes out here on the leaderboard. He's got a good time to beat in Chris Walker's. Scotty Brinson, move him 26th on that first lap. Oh, not so fast.
Hey,
Byron, not a good lap yet.
Byron, if I could interrupt a little bit of wandering around down the stands out here watching. We've had some requests from Logan Detweiler out there watching the stream. He wants to see some. He wants to see some crank it up, and he wants to see some in-car cameras tonight.
Oh, we'll give him some crank it up. We're going to get some in-car cameras. We're going to take some rides around this track, inside a car trying to make a move on someone. We're going to show them what it takes and what we got to do to get in and out of, Indy 500, what it takes to get around this place, which is not as easy as you think. And you're going to find out from an in-camera view that left turn is a hell of a lot sharper than it looks. And Scotty just hit the wall pretty hard on one of his laps. Looks like he moved himself up to 10th place, and it's probably where he's going to settle out in qualifying.
Yeah, it's a tight qualifying lineup too.
Yeah, and I was going to speak to that earlier when we were talking about racing around this track. And if you get a little out of shape or something like that, and you try to fix it, it's not hard to get in the wall up in here. If you get out of shape and then you just freak out and try to fix it, it'll put you there.
Well, what you have to do is, in a stock car, you can counter steer. With an Indy car at 230 plus miles an hour, you don't counter steer. You just unwind the steering wheel and hope the ground effects do what they're supposed to do. By the way, Byron, I just did some looking, and I do stand corrected. Andy Seuss didn't finish in the top 5. He got taken out on a crash on lap 38, but he did start on the front row, going off second quick in that Daytona race with the setup that Ronnie built for him.
Well, one of the last ones getting out on track here so far qualifying, John Poole III. I'm taking a look at the points because we do run season here at Top Fuel. This is the big one, the Indy 500. $1,000 is on the line here, gentlemen. $1,000 purse is being paid out tonight. John Poole,
and they're going to pay back through the top 12, by the way.
Yep, top 12 positions are getting paid with the top driver, the winner, $200 for the winner. And Hoot and Tony, you all need to be putting on your thinking caps. We all need to be taking notes amongst ourselves because we're going to need to have an offline discussion. There is going to be some money awarded to the ESPN driver of the night, whoever we deem that to be.
Yeah, that's one of those awards that Sam and I kind of started that when we started ESPN as kind of a way to just give recognition to somebody for what they're doing.
Yeah, I've always gauged it by the driver that impressed me the most, that snuck in under the radar. When I'm calling numbers, for the lead 5 cars, it'll be the driver that came from the back of the pack that we did not notice making the big moves. That kind of thing. The driver that impresses us the most, the driver that actually has what it takes to get it done, the one that's going to get in there. Guys, qualifying, minute and a half left in it. Everyone seems it's going to take time. Looks like they've taken time. And I'll set the grid. We'll cover the grid as soon as qualifying's over. But final thoughts at the beginning stages of this thing.
The biggest thing that needs to happen, and it's something that every league runs into this problem, is coming to the initial green flag. Everybody's so excited. It's 500 miles, and you want to just blister the field, but 500 miles at this place will hurt you. You really got to just sit back, relax, and let the race come to you. But it's kind of hard to not look at who's starting in your top 10, and you got Chris Walker, Rick Ravon, Marcus Hagman, Ronnie Osmer, John Poole, Nate Seeker, Kieran Bergelli, and of course, multiple-time series champion Scott Brinson. You take a look at those names. Any one of those guys could steal this. But then you look further down the field. I'm seeing names that I know can drive the wheels off of anything.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at a few of those names myself. Timothy Bates stands out. Chris Walker stands out. I'm taking a look at, what? I've been impressed with Top Fuel run by Johnny Antonucci. He's raced with us over in Paskey's, and he has just come to life over here. Kevin O'Brien, he was qualified way back in there. And you know what? Let's not leave out the world's fastest Swede and Marcus Hagman.
Well, if you look, Marcus is up at the top of the leaderboard there, starting third quick. The world's fastest Swede is definitely going to be someone to keep an eye on. I think you're right. Johnny Antonucci, I usually call him the New Jersey Ninja because, that guy just comes out of nowhere and like, holy shit, Johnny's in the top 5. Pardon my French, folks. But, basically anyone that's in this field right now has a legit chance. As long as they keep their head about them, let the race come to them. This can happen.
Yep, and my only thoughts on it is, like Tony said, is just patience. Yeah, some of the drivers that are going to be in the top 10 are probably going to be starting 29, 30. You don't know. Got to be patient.
Well, cars are starting to take the grid, so let's take a look at how they're going to grid up, ladies and gentlemen. Starting first, on the pole position, earning money for winning a pole tonight, Mr. Chris Walker. Rick Ravon just misses that off of qualified pole position by 200ths of a second. He's going to roll off second. Rolling off third was who we were talking earlier, the world's fastest Swede, as I call him, Mr. Marcus Hagman. And don't look now, man, but up there in fourth, Mr. Ronnie Osmer. Starting off fifth would be John Poole the third. Nate Seeker. That's another name we need to keep an eyeball on. He did very well in the Indy 500 fixed and open with iRacing, and he's doing really good. He also currently holds down your second place in points here at Top Fuel Racing. Kieran Bergelli, he's going to roll off seventh. Ernie Ludwig, 8th. Carl Burke, and rounding out your top 10 will be Mr. Scotty Brinson. Have you got the rest of them, Pat? Is just timing and scoring still catching up?
No, I'm good. Tyler Vickery's going to roll off in 11th spot. Jeff Wubker is going to start next to him in 12th. Sam Cooper Bennett and Tim Bates are going to make up row number 7. Mike Sturgill and the captain, Will Kirk, going to roll off in row number 8. Row 9 is going to go to Mark Walker and Dan Braston. Paul Crumry and Ryan Heater are going to make up row number 10. Go ahead.
Oh, rolling off on 21st is going to be the number 17 entry of Kevin Paskowicz. Eric Steinmetz is going to roll off 23rd. 22nd. Mark McFadden, he's going to go 23rd. Raul Alvarez, that's another name. That's another one you want to keep an eyeball on. He will. I look for him to move himself up the field, rolling off on 24th. Johnny Antonucci starting 25th. Kevin O'Brien 26th. Luis Gonzalez Nunez, a late entry to the field. That's another one to keep an eye on, folks. Even though he's rolling off 27, don't look for him to stay back there for too long. Mark Robertson rolling 29th. Richie Browse on rolling out 30th. And that, Adam Colser and Rolando Arroyo, they're going to kick me in the ding-ding so bad for screwing up names. Rolling off 32nd.
What I want to know is, when did iRacing finally give us the truck on pavement? That's the coolest thing I've seen all night.
This is the only track you're going to see that truck on right now. It's pacing the Indy 500 I've seen so far. Otherwise,
well, they had it on the NASCAR race Sunday when they did. The field making its way into or coming out of turn number 4. The only thing that's left to do, Byron, is to pull those belts tight, grab a tear off. Grandpa, Papa Viagra, it's time to get it on in the brickyard as the pace truck rolls off. Rick Ravon taking no time, jumping in behind Chris Walker, and Walker out to a huge lead going into turn 1. He's got going to have a lot of pull coming behind him. Those guys are going to just eat him alive on the backstretch.
Yeah, I noticed when I was racing in the Indy 500 open fixed, not open fixed, the fixed 500, that the lead car, man, you had to use everything you had, and if you were 3rd or 4th back in that draft, you were actually able to, three-quarter throttle it around the track to save that fuel. But don't look now, man, that Gould machine of Rick Ravon has just moved himself right up to the point. And
look who's right behind him. Not something he wanted to see. There's no love lost between Ravon and Ronnie Osmer.
No, it's Osmer dials up that low line, dives it in, sends it, and takes the lead.
Just that quick. That's how it happens. The draft here is Ravon shoots to the inside, throws the block, and we are too wide as they haul it off into turn number 3.
Man, we were talking about it earlier about, it's a 500-mile race. To get to the end of the race, to have a chance to win it, you got to get to the end of it. And you were talking earlier, you want to get settled in, see what your car's feeling like, just ride it out. How do you take 33 guys, that are all Type A personalities, super, competitive, and tell them, we're just going to ride it out? That's not going to happen.
Yeah, hard no on that one. Ronnie Osborne, 19 one-thousandths of a second over Ravon at the stripe as he leads it down the back straightaway. Ravon's going to make the move going into 3. He's got a little bit of help. Looks like that's Nate Siepker behind him.
Yeah, Nate Siepker moving himself up. He started back there in 6th position. He's moving himself up to 3rd, making a great showing.
Oh, absolutely. Nate and the entire NLR team has done a great job, prepping for the Indy 500s. You were talking earlier that some of these guys have thousands of laps. That's one team that they put in work this past month.
Yeah, I talked to Chris Walker earlier tonight, and the NLR team, Chris Walker, Nate Siepker's out there, Jeff Wubker's out there, Tim Bates is out there, Dan Brasington's out there, and Kieran Brigilli, he's out there. That's their engineer. That's the guy that comes up with their strategy on how they're going to do it. And don't forget John Poole. He's part of their merry little band of misfits, but not really, an official team member yet. And I also want to give a shout out to Purple Heart Homes, who helped support their team. They sponsored the race at Charlotte last week, and I want to give a shout out to them and say thank you for the sponsorship. We hope to see you partner with us and do some more. And don't forget Butch Davis, who's busted up the coloring crayons and laid the paint schemes on those cars.
Yeah, absolutely. Some nice looking schemes out there tonight, Byron. Of course, you got defending series champion Rick Ravon driving the Gould Charge car. Sharp looking car there. The NLR cars, team scheme, just different color combinations, if you notice. Ronnie Osmer running team colors tonight. And drawing a blank.
Ronnie and Rick back.
Ronnie's team colors he's running tonight is actually the motorsports team he's doing the work for. Our Motorsports, the team that Andy Seuss ran the ARCA series in, and they're supporting a Xfinity team campaign out there this year.
As soon as everything gets cleared and everybody gets the go ahead, I'm sure Ronnie's going to be playing a big part, at least as a test pilot for some of those cars.
Yeah, not to mention, I can't say enough about that kid from Louisiana that's now in North Carolina. His family up and moved to North Carolina to support him in his efforts in college, support him in his efforts on the race team, and I can't take my hat off enough to him. But taking a look at the front of this field, man, it has been Nate Seeker, Rick Ravon, and Ronnie Osmer all over the front of it, and they are still throwing haymakers. Right now, it's Rick Ravon and Nate Seeker running side by side.
Yeah, but there is another name that's moving up quickly. Didn't start too well. Started in the 7th spot, already up to 4th, and he's just stalking these guys. That's, of course, the kid, Karen Bergelli.
Yeah, he is up there. He's running, talking about Karen Bergelli. Let's see if I can get a look at him. Yeah, started 7th, currently running 4th. Hauling butt around here. Let's see if we can take a ride with Karen around Indianapolis Motor Speedway. See what it takes, to get around here. It's not an easy thing to do.
Especially when you're 4th car in a line of cars. So, you're going to see a lot of aero push in that car.
Currently riding along with Karen Bergelli right now. I went ahead and just threw him on up to the canvas. Just going to roll with you. Coming up to the start-finish line, you can see we're working through the grandstand. Pass under the starter stand, and now we're going to see what it takes to get around as he hustles it off into the turn 1-2 complex. Can't really call it a complex. Turn 1, short shoot, and another turn, then to turn 2. Hits his marks down right by the apron, washes it all the way out to the wall. You can see he's working that 6th gear and just slowly drafts it over to the back of Nate Seeker as they hustle on down the back straight. That quick turn to the end of the back straight, bring it into turn 3, brings it down, hits his marks, a little out of the throttle. You can hear him working it, feathering it just a bit as the car gets a little tight and wants to work its way out to the wall. Back up onto the front straight, ladies and gentlemen. It took you 41 seconds to cover 2.5 miles, but welcome to Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah, Byron, if you would, we're talking about how where you want to be in 5th gear and 6th gear.
Well, 5th gear is going to give you some power to get around this track, to suck up a little better in the draft. It's also going to burn a boatload more fuel. Talking to the drivers, fuel window is going to be 28 to 33 laps. And don't look now, gentlemen, when we put 10 in the books and we haven't even thought about a caution yet, as these guys are out there running hard.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so you can get your hate mail coming now. That's Byron Rodney, Marietta, Ohio, P.O. Box OU812. Because he just jinxed us. But anyways, if you take a look at the running order right now, you've got Nate Seeker for NLR, Karen Bergelli for NLR, and Chris Walker for NLR, and John Poole for NLR, all just riding. Those guys are in 6th gear, letting Ronnie and Rick beat the hell out of their tires, let them beat the hell out of their fuel tanks. Those guys are in fuel conservation mode already.
Yeah, man, that's team strategy. That's everyone putting their heads together saying, okay, what do we need to do to make this thing to the end? Because last year, if you remember, last year's Indy 500 for top fuel, there were guys running out of fuel. It was a fuel strategy race, and if it keeps up like this, it's going to be the same thing as I see some guys getting way out towards that turn 4 wall and having to bring it back in, but focusing back to the front of the field. Yeah, Ronnie Osmer and Rick Ravon, they don't know how to conserve. They just know how to go out there. I'm going to lead the lap. Get the hell out of my way. Catch me if you can.
Absolutely.
Well, and both these guys, I know Ronnie more than I know Rick, but Ronnie does not like a dirty windscreen in front of him. He likes it clean. He don't want to see nothing out there.
Yeah, well,
yeah, and these cars have a lot of marbles, too.
Well, I was just talking about having cars in front of him. He don't want to see nothing out there.
No, that's the top quality of a race car driver. They don't take second lightly. They look at second place as a first loser. And if you go back and ask anyone who came in second in last year's Daytona 500, how many people can actually answer that off the top of their head?
Well, getting back to the whole strategy part, I can remember, I think it was 1980, during Classic Weekend at the Oswego Speedway in upstate New York. They had the NASCAR modified race that year, and Richie Evans was running second for the entire race. And what are you doing? Why aren't you leading this thing? You can lead this. Richie comes over the radio and says, "Case of beer." Anheuser-Busch was sponsoring the race. They gave a case of beer to whoever was in second place every lap. It was a 200-lap race, and Richie ran second every lap except to take the checkered flag.
Now, that is the quality of a talented and disciplined driver.
And they used to have T-shirts that says, "Our drinking team has a racing problem."
Yep, that's pretty much how it goes in motorsports, ladies and gentlemen. 26 cars out there on the track, according to my timing and scoring, unless I am wrong. And we've got some retirements already. 14 laps down, Adrian Coulter, Richard Brose didn't even take the green, along with Rolando Arroyo and Donnie Staubitz. So, sorry, guys. But
I'm still showing 28 act.
Yeah, my timing and scoring has to catch up.
Yeah, Mark Robertson's still making laps, still on the lead lap, running in 28th currently. The last car still running.
So it'd be 29 through 32 did not take the green flag because I'm showing them 15 laps down.
Right. One driver I do want to point out to you, though, is our normal broadcaster for Top Fuel Racing, Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett, asked if he could run. And if you look closely on that car, the flaming idiot that painted that thing for Sam took some news that broke this week to heart with Ferrari is seriously considering coming to the Indy Racing Series.
I saw that. What's your feeling on that?
To have a third engine manufacturer, I think it would definitely give a shot in the arm to the entire series. Depending on which drivers, which teams decide to go with them, I think it would be great. That's one thing that IndyCar hasn't had for a while are manufacturer battles. I mean, yeah, you've got General Motors against Honda, but you haven't really seen, the big name manufacturers from overseas coming over since the last time Penske won with a Mercedes engine.
Yeah, I got mixed feelings on that. Taking a look, knowing that it's, Roger Penske is a major influence in IndyCar. Now that he's got the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Ferrari coming in, knowing Penske's traditional partnership with Chevrolet, there's going to be some hurdles to be jumped over by Ferrari.
Not as many as you would think, because Ferrari, even though they don't allow tobacco advertising logos in Formula One, Ferrari is still receiving $160-something million a year from Philip Morris.
Yep, just down the road from us, down there in Happy Old, North Carolina. Right.
So if you take a look, Roger Penske, for the longest time, had sponsorship with Philip Morris. And one of the, and I could have the tobacco company wrong, and I'm sorry if I do, but, it's U.S. Tobacco. It's not, Marlboro.
That'd be Philip Morris.
Okay. So Roger Penske, for the longest time, was on the board of directors at Philip Morris.
Yeah.
Their world sponsorship goes into Ferrari to $160 million. The new Formula One cap is only going to be I think it's $141 million a season, which to me seems like a lot of money, but currently there's reports that Ferrari's current budget for the Formula One seat, just the Formula One side of their racing program, is anywhere between $250 to $400 million. So, in order to not have to fire half their people, they're going to have to find a series where they can slot in very easily. Well, they've already been running the hybrid stuff in Formula One for years. Now they've got the chance to bring the hybrid power plants to IndyCar, just change it to whatever specs the Indy Racing League or whatever their specs are going to be. They don't have to worry about developing the chassis because they're still going to be running a spec Dallara.
Right.
So they can put all the money into engine development, and it makes sense. Especially with Roger Penske, used to be on the board at Philip Morris. One of the current board members is also a board member at Penske Automotive Incorporated. So you still have that tie between Penske and Philip Morris.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to be a broken up tie. I mean, I've seen Marlboro on too many famous Indy cars, too many famous Formula One cars.
Back in the 80s, Philip Morris used to own Miller Brewery for a while.
Oh, we got one up in the wall maybe a little bit. Who was that? Not a factor. Somebody slowed up behind him, checking up a little bit in the back.
Well, caution does not come out on the track, which brings me to my next point. Gentlemen, we're working lap 23 at 200, and the fuel window, as per the drivers, were 28 to 33 laps on a full tank of Go Fast. Rick Ravon is out in the front, hauling butt, and I guarantee you he's in that fifth gear burning the fuel.
Oh, there it is.
And if I'm trying to find who just...
Tyler Vickery was involved in it.
Oh, man, Marcus Hagman involved in that. Let's see if we can get another look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Back that on up. Caution flies here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Taking a look at Marcus Hagman. Was he caught up, an innocent bystander? I just caught his speed was down. Whoa!
Yeah, he was. But
yeah, several cars go flying, tumbling, spinning, see ya, vomit can material, and caution
thank God
flies.
This is a simulator. But that gets back to what I was talking about earlier with Vickery. He put two tires down under that yellow line, caught the rumble strips, and the car just washed on him.
Vickery just got down there, and it wasn't good. He tried to let off, but you just can't. It's not going to work out well.
Now, our first caution flies. Some unhappy campers here tonight. Let's talk about it. I didn't get a chance to ask the league admin and league owner, Scotty Brinson, about fast repairs tonight. How many fast repairs? Are we running one? We got one. Well, I know there's some ones going to be used, but this caution coming out at lap 25 is real fortuitous for a lot of teams because they were already getting ready to make those green flag runs. Ladies and gentlemen, the first caution's flying tonight. We're going to take a little bit of a pause for the cause, and we shall be right back. Racing League, the Top Fuel Indy 500. It don't get no better than this. I don't know a better way to spend a Wednesday night than to pay out $1,000 in prize money, boys. First caution is out. The lights are off on the pace truck out there. We're going to fire them off in anger one more time, where they're going to, pace truck's going to dive off, and these guys are going to hit the loud pedal and say, see ya, catch me if you can.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mark McFadden, Paul Crumry, and Marcus Hagman all losing laps in the pits to get those fast repairs done.
Yeah, unfortunate for those guys because only 12 positions are going to pay out. But then again, they can get those laps back. They can try to work their way back up. It's a long way from being done, a long way from not being contested. Pat, you got the call on it, man. Bring us.
Nate Seifker, pace truck is in. Seifker got the button, pulls the trigger. We are back underway, trying to bring his teammate with him. Rick Ravon, unfortunately, could not get down there to throw the block. Seifker swings it wide to get a good arc, brings his teammate with him, and they are through turn one onto the back straightaway. Chris Walker up into second, drafting the hell out of his teammate. And here comes Ravon 3 wide as they haul off into turn number 3.
Man, ballsy move to take it down 3 wide. That is not a good idea heading off into the turn. But, man, did he just go low and just overhaul the whole field, move Ravon to the point.
That's what I was talking about timing your runs. Ravon got it wound up, got the pull down the back straightaway from those two cars running side by side. Flung it out there, and that draft is good for another 5 to 10 miles an hour, depending on how you catch it.
Yeah, if you time that thing just right, man, a corner entry just before you get to the corner, dive it down low so that you take that preferred line away from the driver. You are going to go around, but you're going to carry a lot of steam with you. You need to make sure you got the rubber on the all 4 corners of the car that's going to hold it. Because those Dr. Feelgoods, man, they're going to go away after 20-something laps. Get all you can get right now, because then you're going to be pretty much hanging on for dear life.
Oh, absolutely. And then if you take a look at who's up into 5th place, multiple-time series champion, Mr. Scotty Brinson, just silently stalking these guys, running with his teammate Mark Walker right on his back wing.
Yeah, Scotty Brinson, I've noticed most of the races I've called for Top Fuel over the history, filling in for Sam or you. Scotty is, he's always right there at the end of the race. Cream rises to the top at the end, but good God, he sneaks up there under the radar so you don't notice it, don't you?
Well, it's one of those deals where, like we were talking earlier, it's got to take discipline. And Scotty coming into these races, he knows what it takes to win.
Nate Skeeter trying the Indy Snake out there on the front stretch.
Hey guys, if I can just throw in just a little track update there. We're still looking at 78 degrees ambient, 120 degrees out on the track, and you're still looking at 2 degrees in your face on the back straight, 2 mile an hour.
That last lap at the stripe, thanks Hoop for that one. Nate Seifker leading to the stripe by 4 100,000ths of a second. Over Rick Ravon.
Yeah, don't blink, you might miss it. Takes on a new meaning with that kind of time.
Truth.
As another famous broadcaster would say that's in the booth tonight, welcoming him back, hashtag not wrong.
Absolutely.
That
so Ronnie Osmer coming out of that, he's fading back to 9, but at this point, I think he's probably kind of happy sitting back there right now. A long ways to go.
Speaking of 9, Ronnie Osmer running in the 10th spot right now, but look who snuck his tail on up into the 9th position, running that PH Human paint scheme, the Marietta Warrior, Mr. Kevin Paskowitz himself.
Yeah, it's good to see KP back in an IndyCar. He's been playing in those full-fendered things for way too long now.
He's been having a lot of fun in those full-fendered things, thank you very much.
Yeah, no, the first time I met KP was running an IndyCar Super Speedway League. And that's all they did was, at the time, it was 2 miles and up.
You know what? I met KP shortly right after that, and it was... We used to be online at the same time. He's up real late here in the East Coast. I lived in California at the time. I was up late. And I met him on iRacing, and we'd talk in the in-game, and then we started talking on TeamSpeak, and we'd do what we called our late night, raids into the C-Fix servers, and we had an epic blast for years doing that. Then I got into Paskies, and I remember the first race I ran in Kevin's League Paskies, you were broadcasting, and I went cartwheeling down the turn 2 straight at Pocono.
I remember that race.
Yeah, and you probably wrecked me out somewhere along the way.
No. I remember who it was that took me out. Will not mention any names, Dylan Moskowitz. But, hey, we were... No, take that back. It wasn't Dylan. It was Tyler Graff that got me that time.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I ever did full cartwheels in a Chevrolet Silverado.
Speaking of trucks...
Yes, make that announcement.
I would like to point out that iRacing earlier this week dropped the bombshell of all bombshells on the iRacing
update.
Huh?
June update.
The June update. The trucks will finally have their missing third brother with them.
The Ford F-150.
And I don't know if you guys noticed when I posted over there at Paskey's, I wanted to know if the Ford came with a stock a-hole behind the wheel, like in real life.
Well,
tell me I'm wrong.
Well, no, hold on.
Hashtag not wrong.
I'd like to point out, Hoot, that you do realize why Fords come with a heated tailgate, right?
No.
In the Northeast, all Fords come with a heated tailgate, so when your buddies are pushing you and you break down in the wintertime, they don't freeze their hands off.
Yeah, and that's, just like out here in the Midwest and the Plain States, it gets so quiet on a Friday night, you can hear a Ford rust.
Well, what happens, everybody's got this whole what Ford stands for, and if anybody from Ford is listening, these are just jokes.
Disclaimer, folks.
But, farted on rebuilt Dodge, that sort of stuff. Do you know what you get when you spell Ford backwards?
What do you got?
Driver returns on foot.
But I am going to give them their props because, other than being, that Flippinoki's really dig them, let's face it, it's first on race day, but, all the Chevy drivers are saying forever on the rear of Dale.
Yeah, the other thing I'm looking forward to is when speaking of Dale, when they finally release the Aero Wars car pack.
That's going to be kind of cool, but they also did release something, and it's available now, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't checked, but the iRacing series, got pretty famous with, when NASCAR took its break, Dale Jr. said, hey, let's do this iRacing thing, and it got broadcast on Fox. The last race that they did came from a track that hadn't been in existence in a long time that Dale Jr. got scanned in, and that is the infamous, famous North Wilkesboro track.
Very true, and yes, that is available in the iRacing store to purchase the tracks from. You can run a piece of history, ladies and gentlemen, in iRacing right now, and you can run all these just famous names in racing. Of course, Daytona, Indy, Talladega, Nürburgring, Charlotte Motor Speedway. They even have the Chili Bowl. But the biggest one, North Wilkesboro, I am so glad to see that track back, even if it is just in the virtual world.
Well, let me make this announcement then, because, I got Hoot here. Hoot runs in the Paskies League. I've got, Pat here, Tony here. He broadcasts the Paskies League. So I want to make this announcement. Not only did they bring North Wilkesboro back, but coming soon in the updates, they got the throwback cars of that era.
That's what I was talking about with the Aero War package.
Yeah, and Paskey's...
The Chevy's gone.
Yeah, and Paskey's Cardiac League is going to be Paskey's Classic Cardiac League, as we are going to run all the classic tracks. Those cars ran in that era, and we're going to run those cars on those tracks.
So that means your guys are going to run at Rockingham as well?
Yes, the only track that we don't have available through iRacing, and I don't think that it's actually going to be even available to get on iRacing unless someone pulls a miracle rabbit out of their hats, the old Riverside Road Course.
The closest thing you're going to get is there's a layout at Sears Point.
Hey, Byron, I was just going to interject and say one of the fan recommendations, I think we're about due for another Crank It Up and maybe an in-car.
You know what? It is time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at our second place driver, Chris Walker, right now, stalking Rick Ravon, who's out on the point. I'm going to throw the static cam up, and I am going to crank it up. Sights and sound of iRacing, ladies and gentlemen. It isn't a game, it's a simulation. And for people, you know, that argument, oh, it's just a game, why are you taking it so seriously? Ladies and gentlemen, until you dive into it, you don't know the difference between a game and a full-blown simulation. And if you like what you see on this thing, you know what? Give us a like on YouTube. Give us a like on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube, ESPN, the Esports Broadcasting Network. And don't forget that if you like what you see, you can do this yourself. You got a computer, you go online. iRacing is very affordable. A steering wheel and pedal set, very affordable to get started. I encourage you to join it. iRacing.com. iRacing's a platform. ESPN is the network. And Top Fuel Racing League is the league that we're running tonight.
Absolutely. One of the longest running leagues currently in iRacing. I believe we're currently running season 12.
Well, I've got my scoring up here. Let's see what I got. Let me go to, well, you know what? He's taking the old ones off. But, yeah, 12 years running. Scotty has run this league, you know, and this is the 5th Indy 500, where we fill out a full field. Everyone actually puts in an entry fee for this special one-off race. And you know what? Every dollar goes back out to the drivers in the form of a purse. We have tonight, ladies and gentlemen, $1,000 is up for grab. The winner's going to sock home a purse tonight, $200. Right now, the guy that's at the top spot, and we need to start thinking about who's going to be towards the end of this thing. You know, we're working lap 46 to 200, getting to the middle stages of this thing where everyone's just going to settle down and see what they got. Rick Ravon out there leading, Chris Walker holding down the second spot, Nate Seefer, Scotty Brinson rounding out your top 5, John Poole.
And I got to be thinking, I can't really see everything, but everybody's out on 22 laps. I got to be thinking we're coming up on pits for long, right? Green stops.
Absolutely. We are definitely within the pit stop window. The question is, who is going to blink first?
Yeah, and once the first one short pits, you're going to probably see the dominoes start falling from there because they know that those fresher tires are going to give them better grip. They're going to be able to turn a little bit quicker of a lap time, but Don't forget the draft, ladies and gentlemen. The draft, having a dancing partner, being able to pull you down the track. 2 cars can travel faster than one.
And there's Ronnie coming in. I was going to say, I was watching Ronnie Osmond. He tapped the wall a bit. He's in the pits now, looks like.
So Osmer probably going to burn his fast repair. Started 4th, currently dropping like a stone. Doesn't look like anybody's going with him into the pits, though.
Now, not having a dancing partner can be a detriment to you, but also don't forget, strategy is going to go into it. How far can I go in a tank and go fast? How many laps do I push it? Am I going to make it to the end? All that strategy is going to come into play, but don't forget the great equalizer, folks, the yellow flag. That can take your strategy, wad it up, throw it out the window. That's why the crew chiefs get paid the big bucks.
And Ronnie's back out. It was fairly quick, so I don't think he took any repairs, but I do think I saw him tap the wall before he came in.
Well, if he took a repair, it was a fast one.
Well, that's the thing. With an Indy car, 4 tires and a full tank of fuel in under 8 seconds.
Yeah, they don't fool around in the pits. They say, hurry up, get in, get out, get back out there. Pick them up, put them down, gotta go.
And look where Ronnie just came out.
Right, yeah, just put him 1 lap down, but that's good though. It's not bad to be right there. I guess if you got to do a green stop, let's be right there.
Well, Ronnie's in a great position to get that lap back to Hardway before the rest of the cars start taking green lap, pit stops. Because when we talked to him, the fuel window was 28 to 33 laps. Now I know the leader, Rick Ravon, has been running that 5th gear. He has to be running that short gear to stay up there to make that power, so he's burning a lot of go fast out of the tank. I look for Rick Ravon to drop off the track and make his pit stop in the next 3-4 laps.
According to the math, yeah, I'd say within the next 5, because currently working lap 50.
I show Rick 24 laps right now, working his lap number 24 on this stint. So, yeah, probably right in there. Some guys are probably going to come in a little early to play it safe. Do not want to run out of fuel. Running out of fuel in this thing under green flag conditions is a death sentence.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Ronnie went on around and got that lap back. So, now he's got Rick behind him. But, Ronnie, he's doing what he needs to do. And now he's got that pit under his belt. So he'll be working back up.
Now it's all about how smart's Rick going to play it. Is he going to try and push it to get out there and get back around Ronnie, being the alpha dog that he is? Or is he going to say, you know what, I know I got to pit the next 3 laps. Let Ronnie go. Let me do my thing. Let me just ride, not push it on old tires with a light tank.
Well, from the looks of it, he's trying to stay in the slipstream of Osmer to try to conserve some fuel, maybe get an extra lap out of this thing.
You know what? That would be the smart thing to do. When I ran the Indy Fixed, I did notice I was competitive. Let me tell you how my race went. I gridded 25th. Within the first 15 laps, I worked my way up to the top 5-6 cars. And that's where I stayed. I was actually able to go out and lead laps, but I was competitive. I was running top 5 for the whole race. But I noticed I was burning a lot of fuel if I was the lead dog or the second car. When I was 3rd car back in the slipstream, 4th car and 5th car, I was able to work that track, stay with the leaders, but only go 3/4 throttle or half throttle around the track. So it kept me right there until somebody, decided to be new tire warrior, dive bomb turn 1, and wash up the track, take me and the rest of the lead pack out of the race at lap 111. You work that long, that hard to get taken out that late in the race, there are some hard feelings, let me tell you.
Yeah,
and Chris Walker just peeled off.
Yeah, we're starting to see some people take some pits. And what you're seeing here with Ronnie is that, Ronnie, he's, what? I don't care what's behind me. I'm just going to go.
Well, we're going to have green flag stops. They're going to start happening here, ladies and gentlemen. Taking a look at the pit lane. Chris
Walker overshoots his pit stall.
That's going to cost him a little bit of time. Give everyone the rundown on how important it is for your pit, not just hitting your pit marks, but your speed in, your speed off.
Yeah,
Talk to them what can happen.
Well, the thing is, luckily these cars have a pit road speed limiter that you've got to hit it before you get there. If you saw Rick Ravon pull into the pits, there was a set of cones. You have to be slowed down to 55 miles an hour before you get to those cones. And there's no grace in iRacing. 55 is the speed limit. They'll give you 1 mile an hour and let you slow down. But if you go through the sector too fast, they're holding you for 26 seconds.
And 26 seconds is half a lap around this place, ladies and gentlemen. A little more than. Rick Ravon in and out of the pits. Passes the lead over to Scotty Brinson, who's holding it out there on working lap 29 on that fuel run. Look for Scotty to be bringing it in pretty soon. John Poole right behind him. Mark Walker. Ernie Ludwig, top 13 on Mike's timing and scoring. No, make that the top 16. Have yet to bring it pit side.
Yeah, and again, like y'all were talking about the pits, you cannot make a mistake. You can't get in there too fast. You got to. Luckily, it's got a pit limiter. You can get in there, and man, you can't go too far forward, too far left, too far right. That is too far left and too far right is an issue with some of these open ones.
You know, the physical fitness of drivers in the real world, it's paramount to running a 500-mile race. But there's also another bit of fitness that drivers need to do in the real world, and that's mental fitness. Now, you're saying, oh, it's just a game, it's a simulation, you're sitting at home. Okay, but let's talk about it. You still need that mental fitness here in this race just as much as you do in real life out on that track to hit your marks time and time again without doing what we affectionately call stepping all over your own junk and slapping the wall, taking somebody out, doing something, mentally stupid. And hitting your pit marks is all a part of it. And what kind of discipline does it take to hold it together for 500 miles, guys?
It takes you have to have the mind of a chess master combined with a supercomputer combined with a marathon runner's will to survive.
Yeah, not to mention, Jedi-like reflexes when you are mentally beat and can't even think straight. So when you do go into the pits, if you do miss your mark and slide through and have to back up, it throws your mind into a tizzy, and guess what? You don't have it all together, and your reactions are not there the way they should be when you get back out on that track, and you could be in bigger trouble.
Absolutely. And the thing is, people say, oh, it's just a video game. Well, let me point this out. Has anybody been following what's been going on ESPN?
Ooh, fill me in.
They've been running a series where real-world racing drivers have been competing in simulators against sim racers. And who's been getting the top slots in those races? It's a battle. It's definitely a battle between the sim racers and the real world drivers, and I'm hoping that this whole COVID-19 thing really opens up a lot of team owners' eyes that, hey, maybe we should start looking at some of these sim racers or possibly putting them in a test slot and see how they do in a real car.
Well, okay. That's been done before, actually, and let's bring up NASCAR's William Byron. Where did he come from? He came from iRacing. Right now, who's in a truck that's running around in NASCAR? Ty Majeski, come from iRacing. It's going
Denny
on.
Hill.
Yep, it's all now happening.
Right.
Where did the drivers turn when real racing got put on hiatus? Where did all the real-life drivers turn? NASCAR came to iRacing. It got televised. IndyCar came to iRacing. NBC Sports picked it up. And then, like you said, ESPN has been broadcasting. We not only run IndyCar, we run every discipline of racing. Super Champ. We run road course cars. We run GTEs. We run IMSA. We run Formula One. We run NASCAR. We run dirt modifieds, dirt outlaws. We've even got stadium trucks out there. Folks, any form of discipline of racing is available out there in iRacing, and it's just all yours for a small. It doesn't cost much at all. Wholesale pit stops.
$13 a month.
That's it. Wholesale pit stops been going on. Looks like everyone's coming to pit road. Been to pit road. Did you just see what I saw?
Ravon almost just ate. He was completely sideways down the back straightaway.
Who is that in front of him? That looks like Nate Siefker.
That is Nate Siefker. And Siefker ran him right down to the grass.
I'm going to go back and get a replay of that because...
I'm looking at it now. Oof. Yeah, that was rough.
That almost ended poorly.
I've got Rick Ravon getting out of the pits ahead of Kevin Paskowicz. Ravon coming out of the pits.
Yeah, that wasn't a pit issue. That was just racing right there.
No, I'm just taking a look on the replay. Okay, I got Ravon right behind. See if I can catch what happened. Nate stayed low. Rick went high. Nate took it.
Yeah, it looked like Nate just was trying to be somewhere where it just wasn't the place to be.
Yeah, Byron, I think you're a couple laps back because it happened on lap 59.
Well, we'll catch up to it. Folks, green flag on the track. Cars are still circulating. Yeah, well, we didn't catch it. I caught it right as it was happening.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give Seifker credit for trying to stay on the lead lap.
Seifker must have caught a pit road penalty because he's fallen off of the top. He was running top 3 all day long. Now he's back there in the 21st spot, struggling to stay on the lead lap with Rick Ravon right next to him. As Rick Ravon goes around him and puts him a lap down.
Yeah, you know, in the vernacular we use, I think they both pooed a little bit, so I think they're going to behave a little bit now.
Well, let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, there's no love lost between these two when it comes to competitive racing. They race each other hard. They race each other. They don't give an inch. They do respect each other, but they do not give each other an inch when it comes to being on track. And I noticed Rick Ravon doing that Indy Snake, trying to break the draft. Nate is doing his best to stay on the lead lap. Rick's got to have the idea, hey, you're a lap down car. Why are you running me so hard? Well, hey, I'm trying to stay on the lead lap. I got every right to be here. We got one hell of a battle, even though it's not for the lead.
Well, if Ravon was smart, he's leading the race. He's got a 3.3 second lead over Nate's teammate, Chris Walker. If I was Rick, I'd just stay in Nate's draft, save some fuel, and try to extend my next pit stop.
That's what I'm saying. Just let him go and get behind him.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you guys, but knowing Rick Ravon like I do, that little incident where he got run down to the grass, I know has got him excited and got his juices flowing, got his adrenaline up, and now look at him chasing Nate with the Indy Snake.
Back and forth, don't block.
Yeah, so it is a battle. It's game on, even though Nate's, at the end of the lap that Rick's leading right now.
Right, but from the looks of it, Rick's kind of calmed down a little bit. He's just running.
I don't know, man. It looks like he is pushing just as hard to me. It would be interesting. I'd want to talk to him if we get another caution and ask him about that. But I'm going to let these boys be.
He's not running that hard. He's in 6th gear.
And what you're seeing there, folks, is a little bit of blocking. It's not terrible, but he moves up, I move down, he moves down. They're just, a little aggravated with each other right now, maybe.
Yeah, it's either that or they're having a lot of fun laughing about it, which I kind of doubt. I don't see them knee slapping as they're going around the track at 200-something plus miles an hour. I see them out there doing their best, and it looks like Rick's finally giving up on trying to follow him on that Indy Snake. He's letting Nate get away a little bit.
Well, Rick had a bobble coming off of 2 as they haul it off into turn number 3. It's just...
Yeah, at some point you just got to figure this ain't worth it. That guy's a lap down, I don't need to be involved in this.
He's still staying in the slipstream of Seifker, and like I said, Rick's running. I'm showing Rick running in 6th gear right now, just cruising.
Well, let's take a ride with the Ravon, the Great One, as we call him, and see how it looks.
Crank it up. Yeah, and you got to remember, every time you get mixed up in that stuff, especially if you're the leader, all that stuff that's going on right there that you're doing with that semi-lap car, don't let somebody else catch up behind you.
Absolutely. So, I mean, Rick knows that he's trying to save tires and he's trying to save fuel, and he still has, Chris Walker's starting to reel him in a little bit. Walker's gained about 3/4 of a second so far, down to it's 2.8. It was 3.5. But Rick's just cruising. He's settling in for the long game. But this field's really starting to get stretched out.
Speaking of the field, let's take a little walk through the field. I want to take you back. Let's focus in on a car running P14 right now. Impressive. We call him the Alt F4 machine for a reason, because we affectionately love this kid. Tyler Lugo Vickery, we saw him take a nasty tumble with Marcus Hagman. Marcus Hagman, I'm still showing, is 2 laps down. But Tyler worked his way back onto the lead lap, running P14. Hanging it in there. I'm kind of proud of the kid. What's your thoughts?
The fact that he is sticking it out, yeah, I got to give Tyler props for that. But take a look at who's right in front of him.
That would be the number 2 entry of the. I can't call him what I called him on Saturday because the paint job's a heck of a lot better.
Good day, eh?
Yeah, the Chrome Bandit. The founder of ESPN, or co-founder, along with the voice I've got in the booth with me tonight, Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett, holding down a strong P2, or 12.
I also just want to mention now, look who's back up to PP, Ronnie Osmond, after the early pit. So let's talk about pit runs a little bit on tires. Right now, Ronnie's out on 23 on tires. Rick Ravon is out 17, and Chris Walker's out on 18. So Ronnie's tires are wearing a little bit, but he has gotten back up to P3 now.
Yeah, and but Ronnie is going to fall way back down that leaderboard when he's got to come back to pit road again, because he is going to be way off cycle with the rest of the cars. We saw guys holding it out there for 33. Mostly wholesale pit stops came in on lap 32 and 33. The guys that were saving fuel kept it out there that long. So if that map holds true, Ronnie's got about 9 laps left in the tank before he's got to bring it in. But Rick Ravon can hold it out there for another up to 15 to 17.
You're absolutely correct. And everybody behind Ronnie is on 12 and 13, pretty much the rest of the field. So he's out double on the tires of the people behind him.
Yeah, it's not the tires I'm really worried about with Ronnie. It's going to be the fuel mileage that he's getting out of that car. It could work out that Ronnie's going to have to make one more stop than everyone else does. But then again, strategy, hey, throw that out the window. Great equalizer would be the yellow flag.
Depending on how heavy the traffic is that you're in, you can usually double stint tires here and not have a big issue.
Right, yeah, but the speed the tires have changed on the IndyCar, may as well get poured that fresh Dr. Feelgoods on the car when you get that tank to go fast. Taking a look at the race so far, 71 laps completed, 129 left to go. We've had 14 changes for the lead, mostly shuffled back forth between Rick Ravon, Chris Walker, Ronnie Osmer, and Nate Siefker. 1 caution flag. Guys, when we set the over-under for cautions, I thought we'd see the first one within lap 8. But, oh my God, 73 laps, 1 caution. Your thoughts?
Well, all I can tell you is what we were discussing during the break. For the listeners there, everybody in here is basically a Class A driver. And that's a rating in iRacing, which means that they've worked their way up through all the other people doing official races. So, there's no rookies here.
Oh, absolutely. But, this is the talent pool that you're going to see in Top Fuel Racing. These guys are some of the best open-wheel drivers that you're going to see in the iRacing community. And they're putting on a clinic right now. Yeah,
they are. And we've stretched it out. Green flag runs, we had long green flag runs, we've had green flag pit stops, 1 caution. We're coming up on green flag pit stops here probably in the next, within the next 10, 15 laps, with the exception of one Mr. Ronnie Osmer who's on a different pit cycle. Yeah, I'm kind of impressed with this race. So far, the running order's been pretty much the same. I've seen guys that have started way in the back there, a little up front. Ryan Heaton's up there. Kevin Paskowitz is in the top 10. Look at Mark Walker's still holding up there. Kieran, he started way in the back. He is back up there. Scotty started, 10th? He's up to 5th. And Cream just rises to the top on this thing.
Another thing to take into account, we've all raced together. This is a long race. And we're now, 75 in. And at some point, a little bit of fatigue comes in.
Usually just about halfway, depending on how high you got your force feedback turned up, which in this car, you kind of need to run it a little on the high side to make sure you know exactly what that car's doing. That steering wheel trying to wrestle out of your hands every corner that you're going through, that definitely starts to wear on you after a while. I mean, I know the last time I did an endurance race with you guys, my shoulders were killing me for 2 days after the dang thing.
Well, if I remember the last endurance race you did with us, it was you and I that carried our team through the whole night at Spa. Both you and I were hurting by the time daylight rolled around.
No, my last race was Daytona.
Oh, no, never mind. Sorry, it was Daytona we did, not Spa.
Well,
Yeah.
in addition to that, you know, you got to think mental fatigue, because I race with you guys, and, you know, and especially, it doesn't matter if you're back in 18th position. If you're fighting around a guy or something like that, and you do it lap after lap after lap, I mean, sometimes your legs start shaking a little bit, and I mean, it stresses you out.
Oh, yeah, the frustration level, I mean, especially, you know, let's go back to Rick and Nate. Rick is back reeling Nate in. You know, the frustration level there has got to be climbing just exponentially, and now they're getting into another lap traffic car.
That was interesting. Rick Ravon used that lap car almost to suck up in a pit and back. He got him a twofer getting around Seeker as well.
And while that was happening, Ronnie was in and out of pits again. Very fast.
Yep, Osmer back down, being a lap down. He's probably going to try to get that back on the next pit stop cycle, but he's got to be praying for a caution.
Yeah, Osmer, he got in and out of the pit cycle a lot better shape than he did the last time. He was down in the 20s in position. This time, my timing scoring has got him down to P17, so he was in quick, out quick, back on the track.
But yeah, you just can't say enough, you know, because we've been advertising. You guys have been advertising this race probably for 2 weeks. You know, and like you said, there's $1,000 on the line. People have been practicing and getting set for this thing, probably sleeping, practicing. You know, and now they're here, and again, it just it's all on the line, and it is stressful. People, like you said, people think it's a game, but there are some people out there sweating right now driving those cars around.
Yeah, you know, and that brings up another point I wanted to make. You know, a lot of guys put in hundreds of laps of practice, thousands of laps of practice. I know the NLR guys put in probably 10,000 plus laps of practice, working on strategy, you know, how they're going to do it and everything. But this is a mistake that I find that I make, and you're the one that actually reminds me every time we're in a race together. You say, hey, I'm going to go in and practice my pit. How many of these guys forget? Tony, I mean, how many guys do you know forget that when they're out there and they're practicing, trying to hit their marks and do their thing right out there on the track, forget to go and practice pit entry, pit exit, and hitting your marks?
Too many to count normally forget to do that. You know, and it's definitely a pet peeve of a lot of guys that you've got to know how to get onto pit road safely and how to get off of pit road safely. And too many times you're going to see somebody just throw it in there and not give a crap.
Speaking of pit lane, Rick Ravon bringing it in, and he brought it in a little early. I don't know, show him out there like, what, 26 laps?
Bear with me, gentlemen. I just lost the server.
Yeah, I saw that. We'll see you back when you rejoin.
You know what? Technical issues, they can't abound out here in iRacing. You know, we are victim to a lot of things. Rick
Especially
Ravon
when I'm on Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Rick Ravon bringing it pit side, hands the lead to the race over Chris Walker. John Poole, no, make that John Poole as Chris Walker brings it in pit side. He's got the lead. I show Johnny Poole and Scotty Brinson, but Johnny's got a 2.5 lead over Scotty. We are under another session of green flag pit stops happening right now. We'll have to wait to see where everything cycles out on timing and scoring when we're done.
Truly impressed by the showing that the Top Fuel Racing guys have been putting on tonight. You know, especially if you take a look at a lot of the official races that happened with iRacing at the Indy 500 this past couple of weeks, a lot of them were wreck fests. There was a lot of torn up carbon fiber from those races. But as far as clean racing goes, these Top Fuel guys have just been putting on a clinic.
Yeah, and you know what? That has not been the case in seasons past, in races past. But then again, we're in the mid stages. We're at the time where we just want to lay it out and see what we got, how we're going to do it, and what we're doing with it. Because we're working lap 83 and 200. We're coming up halfway.
But I'll tell you what, I was just thinking when you're talking about that, you talked about the fatigue and all this. These guys in the top 5, top 10, they don't want to say caution, but a lot of people out there would like, you know what, I would love a caution right now so we can reset and just let me go in, shake my hands, take a drink of Pepsi or do something, and let's just start it again.
Yeah, pit stops aren't long enough for you to jump up out of your chair and run to the bathroom and back, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. There's $1,000 on the line here tonight, guys. We're going to be competitive to the point where we're going to be competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. But getting back to what we were talking about earlier, there is a lot of strategy, and as far as the NLR guys go, I definitely have to give my hats off to Karen Brigelli. I mean, that guy is a complete general when it comes to trying to figure out the right strategies. I mean, completely a patent type of personality there.
Yep, we're watching IndyCar racing here. Top Fuel League working lap 85. Green flag pit stops are going. We're going to have to wait until timing and scoring cycles it out. After everyone's hit pit lane, about half the field's been in. The other half of the field's going to make their stop. Folks, we talked about different styles of racing. We talked about Indy cars. We talked about stock cars. Let me talk to you about the supercars. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a little bit of a break and pay attention. The Holden, the Mustang, supercar racing, which is mostly done down in Australia. See what iRacing has to offer.
Yeah.
So there's that.
ESPN coverage. The Top Fuel Indy 500, ladies and gentlemen. And we've been watching the cars circulate around. Wholesale pit stops have been going on. Only one car hasn't been into pits. That is your race leader. And we talked about him a little bit ago, and that's Tyler Lugo Vickery as he brings it pit side right now.
And he's going to hand the lead of the race over to Ernie Ludwig. Ernie started 8th, having a pretty decent run right now. Rick Ravon dropping to 3rd. Now going to be moving up into 2nd as soon as he gets to the line. Oh, no, I stand corrected. Ravon gets by as Ludwig takes it pit side too.
Yeah, don't look now. 4 seconds behind Ravon in the lead. Look who's sitting in P2.
That would be Mr. Clifford Ronnie Osmer.
Yep, heavy on the Clifford. Don't tell him I said that. Mr. Osmer out there running, representing our motorsports.
Big red dog thing. Now, I would like to point out, somebody in the YouTube chat asked us to mention this. The paint job that Rick Ravon is currently running is based on the Rick Mears paint scheme from 1983 when he lost out to Gordon Johncock, who was running the SPTP Special at the time.
Yeah, he's sporting the Gould colors. He's been running that paint scheme here at Top Fuel for a while. I do like that setup, that paint that he's got on there. And gee, I wonder where he got that paint. Whose color crayons did he use?
Well, I did the one that he had before the halo.
Yep, and
I haven't redone this one.
Yeah, but you were responsible for giving him the Gould colors to start with. Sam picked up and just when the halo came on, we had to tweak him just a little bit. But Don't look now. I see who is that riding in his slipstream?
That would be Mr. Nathan Asifker, currently 1 lap down, running in 14th. All this battling that they're all doing is letting Ronnie Osmer start to reel Rick in. He's cut that lead down to 4.9. At one point it was 4.3, now down to 3.9.
All right, guys, don't pray for a caution because the guy running the cameras has got to take a small technical break. But guys, carry it on.
Yeah, I was
Absolutely.
going to mention that you're top 13 right now on the lead lap, and then by my scoring here, 14th through 22nd are 1 lap down. Oh, actually more than that. There's nobody in here that's more than 2 laps down. So by all means, we're halfway through, not even that, and it ain't even close to over.
No, and the fact that we've got 28 cars still running, that's an impressive feat as well. Generally there's a race to the parking lot by this point in a lot of times when in an Indy 500 race, especially the official iRacing ones. Those were a wreck fest.
Yeah, we definitely got some people down here at the bottom there that we won't watch them, so we don't know what happened. But Marcus Hagman, Kevin O'Brien, KP, Mark McFadden, Paul Kramer, and Sam Cooper, of course, are down 1 and 2 laps. So, of course, we didn't see everything that was going on with them, but they're still in it.
I know what happened to Sam Cooper Bennett because I was watching him as he went pit side when we were under commercial break. Unfortunately, Sam stepped on his own junk and decided to go headlong into the pit wall as he was trying to take the car pit side, lock the brakes up, and just pancake the left side of that thing. Luckily, he still had his fast repair. They had to do a little bit of a tow, so he lost some time with the tow. That's where he lost that lap from. But still running pretty decent, 23rd. Still plenty of time to make up some spots and get back up there. Right now, money's on the line, and Rick Ravon is putting on a clinic. He's got that lead back out to 4+ seconds over Ronnie Osmer, sitting in 3rd. John Poole, your points leader, currently sitting 7.5 seconds back from Rick. Karen Brigelli is 10.8 off your leader. Bernie Ludwig rounding out your top 5, 22 seconds or half a lap off of Rick Ravon. Is Ravon's last lap a 41.3.
Yeah, and these pit stops, if you look up there, have really gotten strange. Now, Rick is out on 18 on his run. Ronnie, 22, who took that early pit, is in P2. John Poole out on 9. Karen Burgelli, I know he's going to mess his name. Burgelli is out on 13, and people below him are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So believe it or not, it's kind of weird, but those pits have gotten spread out a little bit.
The green flag pit stops, you generally get a lot of spreading out unless somebody's under team orders, which from the looks of it, most of the guys that are on teams, you've got Team NLR, you got, excuse me, I had to take a drink there. I was starting to lose it. But you got Team NLR and you've got Team Rated R, and then you got skid marks. Those guys that are actually on teams, apparently they're under orders that if they found each other on the track to work with each other, but good luck, Yan Yon.
Yeah, now the interesting one I'm watching right now is Nate Kiefer, who's a lap down, but he's out on 19, so he's almost up there at a lap down. He's almost out there the same as the leaders as far as being out on those tires that long on the pit. He is 1 lap down, so it may work for him if he can cycle it around just right.
Yeah, I mean, when this cycles out, green flag pit stops are always fun because they completely shake the field up.
The broadcasters at ABC, when they do these long races, they've got craft catering in the booth. People take care of them. I wonder if they get taken care of for other things, like I just had to run and do.
Yeah, you go take a piss for me?
Yeah.
But, we were just talking about, the pit stops and how green flag pit stops can really shake up the running order, Byron.
Yeah, it is. That's shaking it up. I see, 4 seconds from the leader to the second place, another 2 to third.
And Ronnie's actually losing time to Rick right now. Rick has that lead over second place. Ronnie Osmer stretched out to 4.5 seconds already.
Yeah, but I noticed that the lap difference, Rick pitted early. He's got 21 laps on those tires, and so does Ronnie. Ronnie's at 25 laps on his tires. Everyone else behind him working lap 12, between anywhere from 12 to 15.
Well, and also I'm looking up, and again, I'm not sure how current my readings are, but Rick is actually about a 0.20 faster each lap than Ronnie right now.
Rick's last lap he turned in was a 40.9 to Ronnie's 41.0.
Yeah, so again, anybody knows Ronnie, you can't really tell. You make something out of it, but maybe nothing. Because, that dude knows how to drive that car.
Ronnie's in conservation mode.
Yep.
You can tell with the fact that, he's not pushing it, but also Ronnie doesn't have any drafting help.
No, and
that's where he's losing a ton of time.
Taking a look at the lap count, gentlemen, we hit the crossbags 3 laps ago. Halfway home, a little more than halfway home right now. Your thoughts on what you've seen so far in the first 250 miles of this race?
I'm nothing but impressed by the quality of talent that we've been seeing tonight in this race. We had 1 caution, caught up 4 cars in it, and since then, these guys have just put on a clinic of how to drive the Indy 500 as cleanly as you possibly can, but as competitively as you possibly can.
It has straight LinkedIn out. I've been taking a look at my timing and scoring as you were talking there. I'm showing only 13 cars on the lead lap currently.
And that's about to change.
Chris Walker being the last one, about to get overhauled by Mr. Rick Raybon.
And Walker was involved in that earlier melee that brought out the first caution, as Ronnie Osmer takes it pit side and dropping like a stone down the order there, as Raybon now 7.5 seconds over John Poole, your current points leader.
Did we ever determine if there was any fast repairs here? I would say
One.
probably. Okay, they got one.
Now let's talk about fast repair, folks. Now, what we're talking about a fast repair is, you've watched racing on TV. You've seen when a car brushes a wall, gets in an accident, especially in NASCAR. They bring it into the pits. The guys get the hammers and tongs out there, and they start beating on it, throwing, go fast tape, duct tape all over it. Do what they can to repair that vehicle. iRacing simulates repairs. We don't see it in the broadcast, but there is a pit crew that does run around that car. If you're in the car, you can see them all go around. But if you have damage, it simulates the amount of time that it takes to repair said damage, and that's the damage model that iRacing has come out with. They've updated the damage model. I don't know if you've seen it, Tony. On the K&N cars, you now have pieces and parts that come flying off. On the Skippies, you now have to navigate a debris field if you come up behind an accident. iRacing is going to start stepping that out to these higher class out here now, but they simulate the time that it takes to repair it. But what we're talking about with a fast repair is you got one of those in the bank. Admin, when they set the race up, they say, hey, I'll give you one fast repair or two or three, however many. If you got one, that means you can come into the pits, you got damage, snap your fingers, damage is fixed. You're gone, but you burned it. Excuse me, you burned it. You have no more left. Do you save it for, the later stages of the race? Hopefully you don't even need it through the whole race. But that's what a fast repair is, folks, that we're talking about.
Yeah, and it definitely comes in. It definitely. I'm sorry, Tony. It definitely comes into play when you're in a race and it's kind of long and you get damage. You're like, well, I don't think it's that bad, so I'll take it into the pits and I'll sit there and let those optional repairs. And I'm going to save that fast repair. I'll take those optional repairs. Maybe I'll be slow for 10 laps. Maybe there'll be a caution coming. It's a long race, and I'm going to save that fast one when I can.
Yeah, but unfortunately, in open wheel Indy cars like this, there generally isn't a optional. The optional usually is 20 to 30 minutes. So, having that fast repair in your pocket can be real handy.
Unfortunately, we saw some guys have to use it way early in the race with the only caution that we've seen so far tonight. You could not. There's no way. I would have bet my house that we wouldn't have gone 100 laps without a caution.
Well, Rayvon just took a pit side, so that's going to hand the lead of the race over to John Poole.
Don't look now. Kieran McGilly, 4.5 seconds behind him. But look at the gap between second and third, 16.9.
Yeah, that's huge.
So at this point, with the way the strategy's working out in pit stops, depending on how the math is going to work, okay, Rick Rayvon brought it in at lap 110. He can go, he's been running an average of, say, 28 laps. So that'll take him out to 138. Give him another 28 laps. So I got to get out my fingers and toes and count other things on me. He's got to make a few more stops. But with the gap that he's got after green flag stops all cycle through, it's, he's got the race in the bag if he doesn't step on his own junk or have someone step on it for him. But then again, okay, Rick Rayvon's been in the pits. What would happen to him now if that caution flag flew right here, right now?
I think he would get up and punch the boxing mannequin that he's got in his man cave.
Yeah, I've seen that thing, and I've seen some vicious left hooks he can throw.
Actually, the right hooks, because his camera on his cell phone records backwards.
Oh, well, then he's got a mean right hook, let me tell you. But he did get in and out of the pits, and he cycled back out of the pits in 10th place, which is, when everyone else goes into the pits. Now, okay, granted, it's only a 9-second pit stop, but the time you enter the pit lane, do your 9-second stop, get out of pit lane, you're looking at about 35 seconds total. And I'm looking at Rick. He is currently
4 seconds in front of Ronnie Osmer.
Yeah. This is going to... Guys, I can't even think to do the math yet. Working lap 112. Let's get back together on how the strategy's all paid off when we see lap 180 go up on the board.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I mean, that's probably when you... Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was going to say Nate's coming in the pits.
Yeah, Nate's had nothing but problems tonight. I saw him brush the wall earlier. That's just tough luck there. Chris Walker blew through his pit stall early in the race, and he's recovered marvelously, running only 3 seconds behind Ronnie Osmer, who, when this thing cycles out, Rick, Ronnie, and Chris should be your top 3.
Yeah, with a huge gap in between each and every one of them. Well, talking to Rick prior to the race, over the past couple of days, he's had some things. He's thinking on backing off of sim racing. He's been out here for a very long time in iRacing, and he has progressed up through the ranks. He's had some goals that he's wanted to make, and one of them was becoming a series champion here at Top Fuel. He did that last season. He checked that off the list. Last year, he came very close to checking off the one thing that he is keeping him going and competitive, and that is winning the Top Fuel Indy 500. And he came very close last year, but a driver took him out with a questionable move at a questionable time and ruined his race. Otherwise, he had that one locked up and in the bag. And tonight, he's going for that one check off of that box and making the best run that he can. But don't look now. Whose tail is he up on that is blocking the heck out of him?
Captain Will Kirk, a member of Rated R Racing. I don't think Will was trying to block him. I think Will was just trying to hold his line and say, "Go ahead, Rick. Here's the inside. It's all yours." But Rick was trying to use whatever draft he could get to try to pull some time on Ronnie Osmer.
Yeah, well, now he's gotten around and he's starting to put a gap out on him.
And guys, just to go back a little bit, did I read somewhere that this may be Rick's last race?
Well, he's not running a full season at Top Fuel. He's run a few races, but he hasn't run a full season. This race, he has concentrated all of his efforts onto this race because he's still looking to check off that Indy 500 win. He wants that on the box. He wants to put that plaque up on the wall. He don't care. I'll tell you what, he could care less about the prize money. He just wants to get that notch in his belt in the worst fashion possible.
Well, he's had it stolen from him 3 times.
Yeah, and I called that race last year, and it was such a heartbreak what happened.
Yeah, when lap traffic, plays that big of a part in a race, you really got to feel for a guy.
Laps are winding down quick, working 117 at 200. Indianapolis 500, Top Fuel Racing, $200 to the winner, $1,000 overall purse being paid out tonight, top 12 spots. And, top 12 spots are occupied, there's only 13 cars on the lead lap, and the P12 and P13 are in danger of falling off.
And there goes P14 just falling off there.
I think that was 13. Scotty Brinson, I'm showing in 14th.
It's just amazing they've gone this far with green, but again, it's a big track. And if anybody, the viewers can't see this, but I'm looking down at my map, and they're all spread out, so everything's going fine. But as the laps close down, everybody's going to get a little tighter, and start making more moves.
Taking a look from the blimp, you can get an idea how big this track is. Taking a look at Rick Ravon as he rides around this track from the blimp, you can see all by himself on there. He's got a 2-second lead over the next car behind him, which is Jeff Wubker. He's a 1.5 seconds behind the car in front of him and Mark Walker. And pit stops are continuing because I show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars, 7, 8 cars that have still got to make it in. And of those 7 or 8, only 5 are on the lead lap. So Rick's climbing back up on that leaderboard. The two cars in front of him have yet to come to pit lane. And after pit cycles roll out, Rick is going to have one hell of a commanding lead in this race.
Yeah, very much so. You know, and getting back to what you were talking about how big this track is, there's part of a golf course inside the track. If you look down the back straightaway, next time we get a shot of somebody driving down the back straightaway, that's a golf course. It's a golf course that when you're teeing off, there's race cars zipping by in the opposite direction. So if you really shank one, somebody's catching one in the helmet.
Oh, yeah. You know, a divoted golf ball to the helmet. Let's see, golf ball moving, say, 80 miles an hour.
135 miles an hour.
With a car going 240 the other direction. Add those two numbers together, you got a fractured skull.
Fractured skull, nothing. I'll tell you the last thing to go through your mind. It's called Titleist.
Yeah, you're going to be dreaming about divots for the rest of your life.
Pretty much.
Well, you know what? Green flag stops have been cycled out. Rick Ravon is back out in command of this race. Ernie Ludwig cycled out 2 seconds behind Ravon. Now Ernie Ludwig's on the pit lane now. That leaves 6.9 seconds to the second place car, Tyler Lugo Vickery.
And Ronnie Osmer sitting there in P3 just chilling, just waiting.
Well, you know what? With only one yellow flag so far in this whole race, we talked about it at the beginning. Strategy. Who's got the right strategy? Did these guys stick to their fuel plan? Because, you know, it's coming down to a fuel race in my eyes.
It always does come down to a fuel race when we come here.
I say that Ronnie taps the wall a little bit.
Well, Ronnie's not trying if you don't tap a wall at least once. Ask him about turn 4 at Pocono.
Yeah.
You know, okay, for those that don't know about the inside joke, Ronnie Osmer, Mr. Race Car Driver, Pocono is we call it the tricky triangle. There's only 3 turns there. Ronnie was talking to us about how he wrecked in the final turn of Pocono, and he kept calling it, turn 4, I got taken out in turn 4. When Ronnie goes full-time NASCAR racing, which I have, guys, in my mind, no doubt that he's going to make it to the big show, you know that we are all going to get together and we are all going to sit in you know, right there in turn 3 and hold up a big giant sign that says, Ronnie, watch out for turn 4. Winning.
Oh, hell no. You stupid.
Yeah, and actually, last Monday at Paskey's League, I was able to actually at I think it was Daytona or Talladega, I can't remember, but I managed to weed my way through the wrecks, and I got to lead 20 laps, and Ronnie followed me all the way through and pushed me up there. Of course, I ended up getting Jenkins, but it was good. It was a good time.
I was wondering how long it was going to take before somebody started calling it that.
Oh, it's been called that for a while. No offense to the brothers, but you know, they can get a little competitive out there. And you know, and Mama Jenkins is out there watching in YouTube land. Hey, waving a hand at you. You know, we miss you, and yeah, we can't wait to have our eye in the sky back. We'll put it that way, Pat.
But yeah, Ronnie's going to get there, man. I've been watching for a couple years. We all know him, and he's been having a good time going to college and all that good stuff. And like you said, I guess his family's moved up to him up there in North Carolina, right?
Well, what they did was the family just, you know, they're looking for a house out there. But what they did was they loaded up the motorhome and they said, hey, look, kid, we're going to support you. The race teams are out there. You know, I went down to see Ronnie. You know, I went down there to see a member from another league in NASCOM. I went and seen old Grumpy. And we went and picked Ronnie up at the college he goes to in North Carolina. Went and spent the day at the NASCAR Hall of Fame with him. You know, bright kid.
Almost got arrested.
Yeah, we're not going to tell that story. The only story we're going to tell about that trip is how I beat him 4 times at Daytona in the simulators, which are iRacing at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, by the way. And he still won't let me live that one down. But we had a great time down there. But his family, they live in Louisiana. No, most kids, when they go off to college, you see the picture posted on Facebook that says, hey, Mom, bye, Mom. It shows them in their car with all their clothes and crap packed in it to go. Now, what does Ronnie do? He's standing in the door of his pickup, and there's a dirt racing car on the back of his trailer. He took his race car with him to college and started tearing up the tracks around North Carolina. Well, guess what? He got noticed a little bit. He's now working with our motorsports there in right outside of Charlotte, just north of there in Mooresville, and or Statesville, I believe. And
Statesville.
Yeah, the family decided, you know what, we're going to support you. He didn't have a place to stay in college with the COVID-19 scare and everything, and closed the dorms down or whatnot. College, family said, here's a motorhome, go live in that. Got moved up there, looking for a place up there to support him. And, that's what you call, living the American dream, if you ask me.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, his family is definitely supporting him as much as they possibly can. What I'd like to see is him get his asphalt super late model up there and go fire that thing around Hickory for a while.
Yeah, that'd be kind of a neat thing. That would be a neat thing.
Yeah, I mean, because if you take a look at the history of the Hickory Motor Speedway, everybody that's anybody has gone through Hickory. That track is the breeding grounds for Cup drivers. Dale Sr. ran there, Bill Elliott ran there, Morgan Shepherd, Ken Schrader.
Hey, Tony, when you get a chance, take a look at your message. I sent you a picture on over there, and tell me if someone did not get the perfect picture of Ronnie Osmer with the look in his eye out of that helmet.
That's the eye of the tiger, my friend.
Exactly.
So looking at the last lap, Rick is still running up there, but he's actually losing a little time to John Poole.
Oh, yeah, he's only got a 10.5-second lead here in Indianapolis. That's about a quarter of a lap lead. He'll be exiting, halfway down the back straight as John Poole's just getting into turn one.
But if you take a look in Poole's mirror, he's got a mirror filled with Ronnie Osmer.
Yeah, closest battle on the track right now. Ronnie Osmer right there behind John Poole. Half a second still, but closest battle on the track. Within a half second, I believe you can catch a slipstream and draft in on up.
7/10.
Well, he's within that 7/10 window.
Yeah, but the thing is, how many laps does Ronnie have on his tires? Because that's going to play a big factor into how well
Ronnie's
he can
working
suck up.
25, John Poole's 11. Plus, this is Ronnie Osmer we're talking about in a simulator, pushing it as hard as he can. How many times have those right side tires of his seen that outside wall?
One too many, I'm assuming.
Probably. You know what? There's been several bugs that have got the hair shaved off their butt on that turn.
Another coat of paint, there would have been trouble.
Yeah.
Surprised there's lettering left on those tires. We love you, Ronnie. We're just messing with you, kid.
So now looking up, looks like we got, 9 drivers left on lead lap.
Yeah, we're starting to wind this thing down, man. Working lap 132 of 200. This is smoking by for a 500.
Very much so. But if you take a look at the battle for the last money spot, you've got Chris Walker leading Nate Seifer by a little bit. And right in front of him, he's still got another one of his teammates. I can't really make out who that is.
I think it's Tyler.
Oh, that is Tyler. Okay, sorry, not one of his teammates. And Tyler's in the 11th spot, and right in front of him is Marcus Hagman, who's a couple laps down. Unfortunately, the sensational Swede got caught up in that early wreck and lost 3 laps in the pits.
I was looking at the comments out there in YouTube land, and I want to talk about the 5th place driver right now, Luis Gonzalez Nunez.
Shut it down.
Disconnected. Connected. User in your channel was banned. User entered your
Oh my god, is it over?
channel switched.
Yeah, don't know what happened there, folks.
Well, that was fun. Let's never do that again.
Yeah, we kind of got hacked there, ladies and gentlemen.
This is hell, and I am the devil. Good evening. And for those of you watching in the YouTube chat, yes, TeamSpeak just got hacked. Byron, are you with us?
Yep, I am here. I'm just taking a look to see what I can do to make sure that don't happen again.
Drop back 3 yards and punt.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anybody want a kitten? Come on, you're big fluffy dog. I'd love this thing. For lunch.
Big fluffy dog.
Okay, for those of you that don't know the inside joke, Byron has a 90-pound lap dog.
Yeah, he's not kidding when he says lap dog that wants to be in your lap.
And she put her head on my leg one day when I was over visiting, and my foot went asleep. But getting back to the... What is going on my end? Sorry about this, folks. Still some technical difficulties. Currently 13 cars left on the lead lap. Looks like...
Rick Ravon brought it pit side, got in and out of the pits. I'm showing him at P3, only 3 laps on his tires. P1's got 19 and P2's got 22. When this cycles back around, I've got all sorts of... when this cycles back around, I've got all sorts of things. Looks like Rick Ravon's going to be back on that top spot. And who did we get join us up in the booth?
That is
like...
back.
That you back, Hoot?
Yeah, I took a screenshot of what happened there. Somebody got in here that wasn't supposed to be here. But anyway, that's later.
Good deal. I was taking a look at that, trying to talk and do a race at the same time and trying to see, okay, who's playing games. But I got an idea of where that came from, and that's probably that one gentleman we were talking about that was a total, I'll put it this way.
End of a northbound horse, I believe.
Exactly. Rick Ravon would have a few problems with him and his crew because that was who took him out of the running in last year's 500, and he wasn't allowed back.
Not wrong. Anyways, John Poole currently showing the lead. Karen Bergelli sitting in second place, 10.9 seconds back. Another 11 seconds back is Rick Ravon, who I believe just before this little oops that we had that we were sorting out, and Rick went pit side and we missed it, I believe he clinched most laps led tonight.
Yeah, if we're handing out most laps led, it's just increasing my little notebook. I've been taking notes through the whole night because, we got to award ESPN Driver of the Night. And it doesn't have to be a guy that started in the back and came all the way to the front. It doesn't have to be, in my eyes, when it comes to the 500, I'm looking for consistency. I'm looking for poise. And right now,
Rick Raybon has not missed a mark yet.
No, he hasn't. And, and I don't want to put that jinx on him, so we'll have that conversation in 60 more laps because we're 60 to go, gentlemen.
60 to go, and Pool's still showing the way. Raybon right now just in cruise mode, just no real drafting help around him, so he's, just biding his time, saving his tires, letting that race come to him. That's what we were talking about in the beginning. You've got to let this race come to you. If you try to force things to happen, if you don't respect this speedway will hurt you, and it will hurt you badly.
Well, you gotta pay attention here.
You definitely have to pay attention. You gotta know what the track's gonna do. And Rick is one of those history buffs with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I don't know too many people that know more about the cars that have run here than Rick. Caution's out.
Caution is out on the track. See if we can catch what brought that caution. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Go back to your replay. Focus in on the number 2 car of Sam Cooper Bennett.
I'm looking now.
And I want you to count. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 times he got flipped and then someone drove into him, and I want you to count how many pirouettes and how many feet in the air was that? We're going for a ride on the vomit cam. We're going, ladies and gentlemen, I'm taking you for a ride on the gyro cam, which we call the vomit cam. Riding along with Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett.
He just got more airtime than a skateboard at the X Games.
I'm down and back and looking at it. I was out in the YouTube channel, but
Vomit cam replay, ladies and gentlemen. I can slow that down for you if it makes you a little upset. Oh, up and down and around and an endo and a roundo, and yeah, Sam Cooper Bennett's night might be a little ended right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Ninja.
All right, let's talk about what's going to happen now as the field tightens up. 13 cars on the lead lap. Gives a chance for everybody to come into pit lane, but I want you to start thinking. I'm looking at Ronnie Osmer in P7 with only 9 laps on his tires. Does he come in and pit?
The thing is, I'm going to be back timing the race. I know that I can get at least 25 laps off a set of tires. Possibly 30 if I conserve. It's the fuel that I'm mostly worried about. So I'm going to back time that race and give myself a window of lap 165 to 170. Then I'm going to back time it from there. I'm going to back time it from there. I'm going to back time it from there. And I honestly think that's what Ronnie's done, is he's figured out when does he have to pit.
Well, throw that out the window. He is in pits, along with the top 12 of all hit pit.
I got to tell you, I was watching that, and I don't know, Sam, the only thing I'm thinking, that's where we're talking about driver fatigue at some point. And I can guarantee you 75% of these drivers, they may or may not like it, but all of them probably are thinking, thank God, let's take a break, go in and get a pit,
Well,
and
speaking of
do a
Sam
redo.
Cooper Bennett, the pilot of the Vomit Cam car tonight that we just witnessed on instant replay, joining us up in the booth, our co-founder, our leader, fearless leader, the driver of said Vomit Cam car, Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett.
I can guarantee to you it was not driver fatigue at all.
Nah, that looked like a steering wheel malfunction.
No, somebody's been hacking the TeamSpeak server tonight and completely distracted me.
Oh, you got it too, huh? They
Yeah.
came up into the broadcast booth and they played with us.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Sam,
so I got
It
I got
happens.
distracted
It happens.
because of some jackass.
I hate to see your race end like that, Sam, because you had a solid race running.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wrecked on my second pit stop. That
Yeah, I
didn't
saw
help.
that.
But I was going okay. I made it a lot further than I did last time anyway. I only made it 12 laps last time, so...
And I think the entire league needs to be proud of the run that they had leading into that oops. And it wasn't anybody's fault other than some jackass decided that they wanted to be a jackass.
Yeah, I have an idea who it is, so I'll be doing some investigating after the race.
We all have an idea who it is.
Well, we all kind of have an idea, and I've already started said investigation, so we'll cover that, but later on after the race, post-race. But hey, during the race, let's talk about this. We're working caution right now, lap 146 and 240. We've been seeing cars get anywhere between 28 to 30 laps. You know what? If you're getting 28 laps of fuel, you got enough to make it a one more stop.
Yeah, I mean, they've got about 55 laps to go, so full tank of fuel, about 30 to 33 laps. One more stop should do it, pretty much. If they pit between 160 and 170, so they're going to be hoping for a quick one here, because they're going to have to pit one more time after this. Anyway,
Just adding it all down to my notes, because another thing too, Sam, we've watched this race just blast on by. We're working only our second caution of the whole race. If you would have told me we'd have gone 146 laps and only 2 cautions, I'd have said, you know what, I'll bet my house on that.
well, considering we've had like 7 or 8 cautions in the September race, so this is a marked improvement. Yeah, we had a couple of people drop out, but still, we had a lot of competitive racing, and unfortunately, some people fell by the wayside. And it is what it is. It's Indy. We just take it as it is and move on to the next one.
I got to say, Sam, I'm definitely impressed by the level of talent that has shown up tonight.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have stepped up their game. I mean, we've obviously got John Paul and Rick Rave on. Those two have been really on point tonight. Thankfully for Rick Rave on, John Paul didn't want to see that caution. Kieran Brigelli, Luis Gonzalez Nunez. Now, he's a guy that's been impressing me since he came into the league while I've been commentating on Top Fuel Racing. He got a podium at Barcelona, and I'm absolutely not surprised to see him in P4 right now. A lot of other improvements. Jeff Wobker is up there. I'm shocked to see Chris Walker and Nate Seifke go back down. I'm guessing they must have got the time penalty in pit road.
Chris actually slid through his pit stall twice, and Nate got popped for speeding on pit road.
Yeah, and the same happened to Scott as well. So, but yeah, everyone's having a great race tonight. Even Kevin Pasquich is going, even though he's 2 laps down. So we're all pretty impressed and pretty proud of how this race is going so far.
Absolutely, the lights go out on the pace truck. That's going to leave us with 17 cars left on the lead lap. John Poole, Rick Ravon, Kieran Brigelli, Luis Gonzalez Nunez, Ronnie Osmer, Ernie Ludwig, Mark Walker, Jeff Webker, Captain Will Kirk, Tyler Vickery, Ryan Heater, Chris Walker, Nate Seifker back on the lead lap, Carl Burke on the lead lap, Scott Brinson back on the lead lap, and Dan Brazenton back on the lead lap. And it looks like Michael Sturgill will be the last car on the lead lap.
We had a few stay out there on the lead lap there, but those top 14 are now all evened up again. It's a whole new race.
Lock and load, pull the belts a little bit tighter, take another tear off, and pop another Viagra, Grandpa, because it's about to get ugly at Indy.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're bringing it back around the pace truck, taking that hard left into pit lane, looking down the front stretch. It's all about when John Poole wants to jump on that loud pedal, take off, and say, "See you, boys. Catch me if you can. I'm out of here."
Yeah, good restart by everybody else. John Poole flying off into turn one.
Rayvon timed it almost perfectly. He's able to slip in between Poole and Bergelli to try to get the pull as they come towards the back straightaway. Nunez looking to the inside of Bergelli as they haul off into turn number 2.
Yeah, and if there's anybody that deserves an Indy win, it's Rick Rayvon. He's been trying so many times. I mean, how many times have we called races around here since he joined the league in 2018? Tony, and he's just been so unlucky. Oh, big wreck!
I was getting ready to say it's getting down to it, and it's probably going to be more of it. Cautions be cautions.
Uh-oh, and we've been talking about Tyler Lugo Vickery earlier in the night and how proud we were, how he stuck it out after that first accident, got back on the lead lap, worked his way up into contention, and he is involved in that big one. Oh! 1, 2, 3, 4 cars spinning, tumbling down the track. Thank God it's a sim.
Looks like Will Kirk tried to make a hole that wasn't there, and unfortunately Chris Walker caught up in another one. Kirk sent Vickery up into Walker and just, oh my God. Thank God this is a simulator, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Ryan Heater caught up in as well, just in a victim of circumstance right there. But very audacious move. But that's the problem with the setup. When it's early in the run, the car does like to push. It's not as smooth as people think it is. And if you make dives like that, then it's going to end up badly sometime if you don't get it right.
Well, back under caution. Now it's going to guarantee that we're going to be able to make it on one more stop.
Yeah, Rick Rayvon took the lead just before the caution came out as well.
Am I still showing Tyler's car still sitting there? Why is he not towing? There he goes.
Well, I'd be surprised if he doesn't do hit the hold down the Alt key while he looks for the F4 button.
Waiting for it.
That's the second time he's wrecked tonight, so I'm pretty sure.
Great effort, put in by the number 24 entry, Tyler Lugo Vickery. We give him hell, folks. He's a kid. He's in college. He's at Full Sail College, working on a broadcasting career, covering sports broadcasting. And, my hat's off to the kid. He's come a long way since I met him years ago in iRacing. And, I'm kind of happy to see him stick with it. He's getting a better attitude about it. He doesn't use that Alt button or the Alt key and then hit the F4 button as much as he used to. But
he just did.
Yeah, well, he just did, which I don't blame him. Hey, my heart would be broken if I was in contention and the money running here. $1,000 up for grabbing this purse, man. It's going to get serious. And, you said it yourself early in the race. What breeds what?
Cautions breed cautions.
We are, 3/4 of the way there, 50 laps to go to decide this thing. And I'm just going to bite my tongue and not say it because I do not want to put the broadcaster curse on.
What was that, Green Rock?
No, we're not talking Green Rock tonight. No, I don't want
my prediction, Kevin Pasquich is going to win this.
Well, Kevin might as well just Alt F4 right now.
Oh, you can send your hate mail to Tony Trapasso. That's Syracuse, New York. OU812.
We already got hate mail coming to Marietta, Ohio, OU812.
Now it's going to Syracuse as well.
Don't make me redirect it to that little island sitting off in England out there in the middle of nowhere in the Atlantic.
Nobody wants that.
Nah.
This small country gets picked on enough. We don't need any more trouble.
14 cars running. 14 cars running on the lead lap. Top 12 positions are in the money, plus a couple of other little bonus awards that are going to go out tonight. Am I remembering right? They did pay for pole position, didn't they?
Yeah, it's $5. So $5 for getting the pole, $5 for biggest mover, $5 for best rookie, and $5 for ESPN driver of the night.
Well, ESPN driver of the night, I got a feeling is going to finish in the money. I'm not saying no names. I'm not saying nothing. We're just going to leave it lay right there. 49 laps to go to decide this thing. And the way
and I think you and I are in agreement about who that's going to.
Yeah, I think our mind's been made up, and it's been a long time coming.
True story.
So, as I was saying before the caution came out, I think Rick Ravon deserves an Indy win. I mean, he's been trying for so long and been so unlucky. If he pulls this one off tonight, he's going to be. I don't know. Are we going to see Rick Ravon cry for the first time?
I wouldn't call it unlucky. I would just say that Rick had 4 of them stolen from him.
Last year's being a very, very big heartbreaker.
Yeah. I remember watching that race later on, and after I wrecked out on lap 12 because of some certain joke. But anyway,
yeah. Well, that joke, what cost Rick the race at the end. Yeah, but anyway, talking about Rick, he's got the field in tow. He's on the point. But don't look now. Our series points leader for the season, John Poole, sitting in second place. The guy that came late to the race, Luis Gonzalez Nunez. And I was looking out there on YouTube chat. He's got a little bit of a fan base out there. Yo hablo español muy bueno. Hey guys, hola, ¿cómo estás? I want to say hi to them. Don't look now, but top 5 are just. This race can come anyone's race in the top 5. Ronnie's sitting in 4th. Kieran Beghelli's in 5th. And don't count out Jeff Wubker or Ernie Ludwig. These guys, and now the field's bunched back up. Look at P9 has got himself a bit of a reprieve.
You're absolutely right. Nate Siefker back in contention. Scott Brinson back in contention.
Hey Sam, check the phenomenal chat.
I saw. But
oh no.
Oh yeah. Hey, and I don't blame him, and he has every right to. And if he wants to come on here and do it on air, I would allow him to.
But anyway, don't count out Scott Brinson. Back on the lead lap, he got the caution he needed. He took the gamble in the last caution to stay out. Wanted the quick caution, got the quick caution, expecting to move forward from this point onwards.
Yeah, you know what? This race is far from, being able to say, oh, this guy's got it or that guy's got it. Earlier on, we were looking at Rick running around with, 12-second lead on the field after pit cycles and everything straightened out. But I did tell you guys, man, what is the great equalizer? It's that that yellow flag caution.
Yeah, they're all stacked up again. Here we go again. And a lot of these guys were thinking, man, let's get out of this. And now they got to do it again.
And we're getting ready to turn them loose one more time as the field works its way out of, I believe, turn number 4. The pace truck is in and...
Not in yet.
Okay, sorry. That was the short shoot.
You know what? And you think about it, and a lot of these guys, a lot of people think about it, when you see those cautions, those are like the last 10, let's come down in this lap. There's still 48 laps to go here.
Absolutely, as the pace truck is finally in, and Ravon pulls the trigger. Poole jumps down in front of Ronnie Osmer. Luis Nunez. Throws the block on him, now tries to block Osmer as they haul off into turn number 1.
Osmer taking it way wide out there. Looks like he might have brushed that outside wall a little bit with Nunez on the inside. But don't look now, man. Top 5 breakaway. Throw a blanket over the top 5 and challenge for the top spot. There goes John Poole right around the inside of Rick Ravon.
And that's the thing with these cars is if you're the leader, you almost have to restrict plate race the restarts in this car, or else you're going to be a sitting duck by the time you get to turn 3. Ravon battling back and give that lap to Ravon, 19 1/1000ths of a second.
Osmer almost making it a 3-wide affair going around the outside of that corner in the Allen Motorsports entry. Osmer all over the back of John Poole looking to try it. John Poole's got second. Osmer's got third. Osmer won second. Rick Ravon back to second. Now he's going to have to contend with the hornet's nest of Beghelli and Osmer.
Bugelli getting a great toe down the back chute.
Oh, Ronnie's tapped the wall.
And there it is. Ronnie finally did hit the wall. He's dropping back a little bit now. A little bit of damage on that O2.
Hey, Sam, jump on the radio and just yell in Ronnie's ear, Pocono!
Hey, I tell you what, man, in a little while, how about I crank it up and camera?
Hey, crank it up and taking a ride around with John Paul.
I said if we're back now, I did say watch for Scott Brinson, already working on the back of, it looks like Carl Burke and Mark Walker back there, really putting them under pressure. Scott Brinson is on the move and he's back in the top 10, boys.
Yeah, Scotty is not, one to count out. We were talking about earlier how Scotty, you don't call his number an awful lot. You don't hear a lot of announcers yelling, about the 14, but then by the end of the race, he quietly, under the radar, Ryan Newman, sneaks his way up to the front.
You're not wrong. As, Walker and Osmer's fallen all the way back to 6th now, and he's about to lose 6th to Mark Walker. Walker works to his inside. Looks like Osmer's got a lot of aero damage on the right side of that car right now, and that's definitely going to be affecting him.
Well, he's going to be hoping he didn't burn that fast repair, but I kind of think he did earlier. He's going to be looking for that last pit stop when it comes around. Back to the front of the field, Rick Raybon and John Poole just still throwing blows.
Yeah, as Mark Walker gives it up, he's going to fall backwards now and back into the clutches of Scott Brinson. Needs to be a bit careful here, the 00. Took the fight to them, but it looks like Ronnie Osborne's found some speed there. He's right up the back of Ernie Ludwig and trying to go around the outside here.
Yeah,
absolutely. And look who's right behind Brinson, too, as Nate Siefker looks like he's willing to work with the boss on that one.
Nate Siefker working with Scotty Brinson, I've never really known Nate Siefker to really want to work with, he's one of those alpha dogs we talked about at the beginning of the race. When it's time to just ride, see what you got. Okay, we'll get to the end and then fight it out. Try telling that to 34, or 33 alpha dogs that all want to be in the front,
Yeah, and, Nunez has been there just all night. Just right there. Never up front, never all the way in the back. Just right there. He's in a good position.
Quietly holding himself in the top 5, top 10. Where did he start at? Let me take a look here.
27th.
Running from 27th.
Didn't put down a qualifying time though, so he won't count for the biggest mover if that is the case.
Then the current biggest mover is going to be Mark Walker. Started 17th, currently running in 7th.
Problems for John Paul as he's falling behind Kieran Brigelli now. Brigelli challenging for the lead here against his old friend Rick Ravon. How's this one going to work out? Ravon going to hold on for now, but here comes Brigelli against the inside 310.
I've been watching a lot of concentration going on with Rick Ravon, whether he's riding that outside or taking that low line. Now he ducks down to do the Indy Snake to break the draft, doing everything he can to hold on to that top spot. We've seen him make those moves, time to those passes just right. So you got to imagine whether he's first, second, or third, he's got a plan for how to finish this thing.
I mean, man, we're getting down to it. I mean, it's all on, and there may be a caution or two, but they're going for it now. We're down to it.
Well, the question is, if you're John Poole, do you just all out go for the win at Indy, or do you look at this as a big points night for you, considering that your closest competitors have been struggling all night.
Yeah, John Poole in points lead. You know, he's got a lead of 70 points over second place Nate Seifker, and then it's another 55 back to the third place of Scotty Brinson. So, you know, now you start rating points. Oh, I don't think so.
But then he hit the ball coming out of turn 2. That's going to hurt him. And there goes Eddie Ludwig to the outside now. So Brigelli driving a wounded car there now, Byron.
Oh, sorry about that, Sam, but what I was saying earlier is John Poole, yeah, the points question comes, bounces off the wall again. Things are starting to pick up. Business is getting a little bit businessy, as we say. But no, the points thing we were talking about, points are one thing, but this is the Indy 500. There's $1,000 on the line, man. You got to go for it.
Yeah, and there, well, you see what's going on right there. Everybody's just, at this point, everybody's thinking maybe I need to get ahead of the wreck I think's coming.
Oh, and when it comes, if it comes out of that third or fourth position, it's going to be costly to a lot of drivers. There's going to be some butthurt feelings out there, as they say.
This is getting interesting now.
We don't get much better than this, man.
John Poole just hanging on to the back end of Rick Ravon. Rick Ravon doing everything he can to break the draft. 0.2 of a second lead. We know you get within 5 to 7/10 of a second, you're in the slipstream and you can draft up. But they're both, these two front cars have got to be both burning fuel at an outrageous rate. Working 19 laps on this tank of Go Fast. So we got one more time down pit lane. And oh my God, how important is the money stop going to be to get in without speeding, get to your marks perfect, and get out without speeding?
Well, this is where the cream's really going to rise to the top. You know, both these guys know what they're doing. They've done this countless times. Everybody that's running right now we've all done this countless times. It's how focused can you stay? Because that's really what it boils down to is, can you keep that focus for that last 25 laps? They've already been at it for 2 hours.
Wow, there's a little janky moves going on there. A little blocking, not blocking, but just some attitude.
I'm telling you, man, there is no way in the world I would have figured this race is going to finish anywhere before midnight Eastern time. And we are on track. We're looking at, 15 laps to go here, ladies and gentlemen. Or no, 35 laps to go. We're going to finish this thing well before midnight at this pace.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's Byron Rodney, Marietta, Ohio, P.O. Box OU812. Get your hate mail comment.
Okay, so I got to clean a smudge off my glasses when I looked at 166 and thought it said 186. Sue me. Oh, by the way, Pat, welcome back. And the only reason I'm still here is because Sam lost my termination paper somewhere.
Who met you back in the house?
Exactly.
Going on for P6 right now. Ronnie Osborne putting Nunez under pressure, trying to look underneath, but Nunez just using his making his car look as wide as possible as he holds on to P6 for now. Coming down the back stretch, Mark Walker starting to reel these guys in as well.
Yeah, you got to be wondering, Ronnie's got to be having handling issues because he is not being able to pick him up and put him down as well as he was earlier. Probably looking for another caution, hopefully at least to get into pits and get some fresh Dr. Feelgoods on all four corners of the car.
And Nate Seifert right back in it again. Had some issues earlier, but right there he is.
Up to fourth already.
Yeah.
And setting his sights on reeling in Ernie Ludwig.
Now, focusing back at the front of the field, Rick Ravon with John Poole in tow. Rick Ravon in command. He's out there to a half-second lead now, almost 0.6 of a second. But how far is he going to leg it out in fuel? He's on 23 laps on this stint. How far is he going to leg it before he brings that thing in? And once the first one comes in, how long before the rest follows suit?
And that's what you've got to consider as we get closer to this final pit stop of the night. You got to think John Poole might be dropping back there to try and save a bit of fuel there. Ravon just will take that, thankfully, and just scamper off into the distance. But it might come back to hurt him in the long run if John Paul gets to stay out a bit longer.
The thing is, you've got to risk it right now and stay out as long as you possibly can, because you definitely don't want to run yourself short going to the checkers.
Well, yeah, I'm looking up at my standings up there, and they're all out on 25 right now. Top 9 anyway.
So you figure if they run another 3 laps, because we're working on 31 to go. They run another 3 laps, that'll bring them to 28. They're well within the window to do this in one more stop, in my eyes. Even the lead car's running a 5th gear plan.
2 more laps, they'll be able to make it.
But that's what I was saying, earlier. Is you've kind of got to look at it on the long end of the spectrum. You're looking at lap 165 is when you come in, if you can save the fuel. If you can't save the fuel, you've got to come in right around lap 172 to 173.
Yeah.
And the way Rayvon's running, he's got to stay out here 2 more laps.
Yeah. Steve can back up to 3rd, but he's 2.5 seconds behind John Paul, off the lead. Sorry, and he's got quite a bit of time to make up. But then again, he's in clean air now. That might help him with the fuel load.
Absolutely, the clean air. We preach it all the time, especially in these cars. You get such a wash because of all the ground effects that these cars generate from underneath. When you get in somebody's wash, we've all seen that scene from the movie Top Gun where you get in someone's jet wash. Well, it's similar in an Indy car.
They don't put those wings on there for nothing. Those wings are to hold those tires down against the pavement. It adds so many more 100 pounds of downforce when they are at speed. You're in the wash of another vehicle. You are not getting the amount of air that the vehicle is creating that wash is getting on those wings. So you don't have as much weight pushing down on those wheels for traction. It allows you to there's no way you can hold the corner in the turn as fast as the car out in front, but the car out in front has to work way harder to get around where the car in the back doesn't have to run the gas pedal so far down.
So you got to decide, do you want to burn your tires or do you want to burn more fuel?
Looking at my times up here, Rick is still just putting the clinic on.
Last lap,
41.5. Wow.
That's on his own, no draft at all.
Yeah.
It's like he's found another gear. You got park, you got reverse, you got neutral, you got drive, and he went to warp drive.
That's going back to what I said earlier. It's Rick's hunger to win this race that's driving him forward. He is desperate to win this race, and the way he's driving right now suggests to me that hunger is there. It's clear, it's present. He wants this win, and bad.
Well, he's 28 laps on his stint right now with 27 laps showing to go. I think we'd be looking for Rick to be bringing it pit side probably in the next 2 laps.
Yeah, and you got to be thinking at this point that Cooper and Regalia has got to be thinking maybe we need to line up.
Pit stop's happening now. First one's in the pits. Luis Gonzalez Nunez, Mark Walker.
And Nunez
for Rayvon and Poole to peel off here coming up.
Yeah. Looks like Ernie Ludwig has already pit because Rayvon is now right behind him. But obviously Rayvon's going to be bringing it in very soon. And Rayvon's coming now.
Rayvon with his pit stop. Let's get a focus in on him. Brings it down, gets the car wowed down to speed. Oh! I think there's going to be a speeding penalty on the car that came in right behind Rick.
That would be Ronnie Osmer.
Yeah, Brinson and Sturgill in as well. Paul deciding to stay out for that extra lap and bring in Nate Siefka with him. Brigelli staying out as well as Carl Burke. Timothy Bates is stayed out. Jeff Wupke is out as well. And those are the only 6 drivers that have not pitted yet.
9.1 seconds, Rayvon down and away.
I got to tell you, those 2, 3, and 4 cars, they're just running on their own there. And I mean, I know they're getting a little draft, but at some point, maybe you got to think, let's get together and run him down.
25 laps to go.
Get into that point now, boys.
Money stop time.
Yep,
Rayvon
John
hit
Poole
his
still holding
marks
it out.
and
Nate
everybody else hit
Seifker,
there.
Karen McGilly, Timothy Bates, and Jeff Walker. The only cars in the lead lap have yet to make it to pit lane.
Yeah, Carl Burke is in pit road now. And he's going to get forum fuel and he'll be on his way. Question is, where will he feed out? I expect he'll be feeding back out somewhere around Scott Brinson.
Now, remember when I said the cream rises to the top? We just saw Rick Rayvon have the perfect stop. He hit his marks. The crew did their job, got him in and out as quickly as they could, 9 seconds. Probably took the fast repair just to make sure that car was top-notch coming to the checkers. And, he's thrown down the gauntlet. It's catch me if you can, boys.
Well, every car in front of him has yet to make a pit stop, and he is 33 seconds. Okay, the average pit stop going in has been 35 seconds from the time you enter to the time you get off, and Rick Rayvon is 33 behind the leader, and the leader has yet to pit.
Poole's coming in and Safeker's going with him.
Oh, he locked up the tyres coming in. Did Poole speed going in? We'll find out in just a second. Osmer's lost the lap, so I'm guessing he might have been popped for speeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, unsafe pit entry at the minimum. Overshot! Overshot the pits!
Oh no. As Poole gets out safely, Seifker is going to be hurt by that.
Seifker losing a little bit of time in the pits.
Where is Rick Rayvon though? Rayvon's going around him now. Rayvon takes the lead back and he's going to be out by probably about half a second there.
So was that Nate did Pooch the pit?
Nate Pooch the pit. Well, Nate Seifker cost him an extra 2.5 seconds on pit lane. Even though you don't think 2.5 seconds is an awful lot, ladies and gentlemen, 2.5 seconds is a hell of a lot of real estate at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
And think about this: the pit stops are only 8 seconds long, so 2.5 seconds is over a quarter of the time you're going to be in your pit stall.
I know Nate Seifker's talking to himself right now in a loud voice. It's probably waking up his girlfriend and not making a fan in the house with the language being used.
True story.
Kieran Brigelli and Jeff Webker still out on track. Actually, Brigelli's in now.
That's going to hand the lead over to Rick Rayvon.
And Rayvon has his mirrors filled right now with John Poole.
We got a race.
We got to back in the field or just wanting a caution somewhere just to stack it back up one more time.
Last thing these front two are wanting is a caution right now. John Poole has timed that run on Rayvon perfect, heading for the corners. Seems content to be sitting there in his wash right now, just going to ride right behind him. Makes that move down low, takes the inside preferred line, Raven to the outside, move John Poole back to the point.
They haul it off into number 3. Poole really showing the way now and showing the grit that is the reason why he's currently leading the point standings coming into this event.
Yeah, here comes Rayvon again to the inside towards turn 1.
23 1/1000ths of a second.
Wow.
Now, to give you an idea, folks, you blink your eye in 4 1/1000ths of a second. Well, that was half of the blink of an eye.
And they are both dancing right around that on the line, but they're doing exactly that perfect turn.
They are just trading it back and forth.
Nunez is up to 3rd place, but I'm wondering if he can make it. He pitted way earlier than everybody else.
He's actually just one lap down out of the pit, other than Rick Rayvon.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, they're all on pretty much the same cycle. Nunez pitted earlier. Nunez and Ledwidge were the first two to pit. They've got 9 laps on those tires right now. Rick's working 7. John Poole's got the newest ones with 4. But, oh my God, guys, 19 laps to go. We are within 20 to go. And take a look at the battle happening in the front.
And look at Ernie Ludwig up there in the fourth now. Not saying he's out on 10, so he's right there in it.
Third and fourth place have got to be loving what they're seeing in the very front, because the more these two go back and forth, it's allowing third and fourth to suck right up. And we're going to be a four-way dance. Four-way breakaway for the top field right now. And don't look now, but who's in that fourth spot?
That would be Nate Seifker, 2.25 seconds back. And caution's out again.
Oh no! Ravon in the wall!
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
We got to take a look at that again, folks.
The front two hit after the caution. Am I incorrect?
Oh no! They drifted up high to try and avoid Paul Crumray, who just wrecked, and Ravon went too high and pounded the wall. It started off when Paul Crumray was wrecked on the bottom line. I think they just went up high to avoid him and came to a slight bit of contact, which was enough to put Rick Ravon into the wall.
Yeah, that was John Poole avoiding Crumry on the bottom. Just went up too high and clipped Ravon's, tire. Brought out that caution. Now I'm hoping like hell Ravon's got himself a fast repair. He still held himself on the lead lap with this caution. He's got a chance at it. We'll see.
That absolutely just shook everything up.
I'm about to be sick, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I am. That has got to be the heartbreak of the century. And oh my God. How many times have we seen a race within his grasp just get taken away by something out of his control?
A reprieve for Seifka, meanwhile.
I'm trying to listen down on the channel a little bit there. Of course, I ain't going to say everything that's going on, but I ain't hearing much.
Nobody's talking in the sim.
No. I think everybody's just as shocked as us.
Rick trying to hold it on the track.
Now it's starting up a little bit.
With Ernie Ludwig, big wreck under caution, and Brinson involved with Ernie Ludwig there.
Oh, the front of Brinson's car is all banged up. See what happened there. Taking a look at Brinson circulating around. Oh, what happened with Ludwig?
He just checked up right in front of Brinson. I'm not really sure what happened there.
Oh, okay. I need to go pay rent for my wings so I can be the fly on the wall.
Oh, I am the fly on the wall.
I just listened to a little bit on the channel.
And there it is.
Unhappy people down there.
That's the statement I was hoping I didn't hear tonight.
Which
yeah, we're not going
was?
to ask what it was. We're not going.
Oh. Woof.
Well, Rick Ravon had to have burned that fast repair. He is in on an extended pit stop. His race night is over. John Poole, he's still out there circulating on the track. Don't look now. Luis Gonzalez Nunez is running second. Nate Seifker with the massive reprieve after a bungled pit stop, rolling P3. Karen Bergelli and Carl Bank rounding out your top five.
So, some words being exchanged between Rick Ravon and Scott Brinson right now.
Mostly Scotty venting.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, my compadres up here in the broadcast booth, they have the advantage of being able to drop down at a race chat and hearing what's going on and bringing you the PG-13 version of what I'm sure they're hearing. But, oh my God, not only me, but everyone out there on YouTube and Facebook would be dying for me to go ahead and turn on the in-game chat, which I'm not about to do and get banned for probably some language that'll get us all arrested.
It just got worse.
Fight me, see what happens.
Yeah, there's a little spicy down there.
3 things: I hit you, you hit the tape, and I jerk off.
Yeah.
And Rick Ravon was just removed from the server.
That's why I said it just got worse.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're not gonna broadcast that.
Well, you know what?
Nope.
Let's just put it like this. Tomorrow morning out there on Facebook land, there's going to be two things that are going to be very interesting to watch. One's going to be the Seifker stories, and the other one's going to be the Ravon report.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. I think I can. I think. Hold on. I think I can sum. Hold on. I think I can sum up what the Ravon report's going to be in one sound effect.
Hashtag not wrong.
But anyway, we've got a race to finish, boys, and we've got 15 laps left. Who's going to win this thing?
Well, after the Ludwig Brinson incident, after the John Poole Ravon incident, you know what? We were talking about, hey, if you were John Poole, you just go ahead and stay back and have a good points night. But it's $1,000 on the line, folks. You know the adrenaline's really pumped up. Top 12 are in the money, with the top one getting the lion's share of it. So it's going to be a lot of, hey, get out of my way, I'm coming through. No, you're not. Try me. Okay, well, here, side check, hip check. Cautions breed cautions. And, wow, man, it's been an interesting Top Fuel Indy 500 so far. And,
Well, like we used to say in hockey, hip check, cross check, paycheck.
yeah, hip check, cross check, paycheck to the dentist. Now, the next thing we need to do is, Tony, you and I need to rewrite our notebook on ESPN Driver of the Night.
I will text you what I'm thinking right now at this point in time.
And I will send you the car number I've got in my mind.
Can I see? Oh, okay. I can see.
Well, you know what? All I'm going to say is that Tony and I are, yeah, you can see, Sam. Tony and I are in complete agreement at the moment.
I agree.
100%.
Yeah, let's talk about Luis Gonzalez Nunez right now. How much of an ideal situation is this for him? Fallen right in his lap, he's sitting in P2. I mean, how special would it... He was a last-minute entrant into the race, by the way.
Yeah, but also, how much experience has he got in the Speedway, in the draft, in the IR-18? You know, and take a look at who's around him. John Poole, Nate Seifker, Karen Bergelli. Don't count out P6 and 7 and Webker and Bates. This thing is not over by a long shot.
And definitely don't count out Carl Burke. We've seen in the past that he's very fast.
Yeah, Carl Burke is usually a force to be reckoned with when it comes right down to go time.
Well,
Yeah.
if you get down to my eyes, it's go time.
Absolutely. With 12 laps to go, when they get the green, it is by far go time.
All right, man. Tony.
Pull those belts tight one more time. Pace truck is in. Oh, hold on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen, as Poole holds him down, then pulls the trigger. And Nunez throwing the big block on Nate Seifker, trying to hold him back. Ducks in behind Poole as they haul it off into turn number 1.
Look at Louis. Oh, look at Nunez, though, looking to the back of Poole. Looking around the outside, he's sniffing around, he wants that win.
Yeah, but he's got a mirror filled with Nate Seifker. And no help.
And not only has he got a mirror full of Nate Seifker, he's got a John Poole in front of him that he has been out in the front, is known how to make these cars not get around him. John Poole making a 5-foot wide car seem like it's 15 feet wide.
Let's not forget, boys, John Poole is the reigning Indy 500 champion. He knows what it takes to get this win. He's the only...
back there, almost correct.
Yeah. John Poole is the only previous winner in this field tonight, so he knows what it takes to get it done, and he's proving that right now.
Now, Sam, Tony, you guys, what position do you want to be with 2 to go? Do you want to be out in front, the sitting duck, with the draft? You know you're going to get slingshotted. Where do you want to be when we get down to lap 198?
Not where John Poole is.
Actually, I do, because, Oh boy. If I'm where John Poole is right now, I'm thinking exactly where I need to put this car so that when I'm trying to do what Rick did. I'm trying to get as far away from these guys as I can. Plain and simple.
Dave not going to let it happen, though. He's already looking to the outside.
I'm trying to get as far away from these guys as I possibly can, put as much distance between myself and second place, let them duke it out for a position. I'm just trying to just, snap see a bye.
Yeah, and, it's the roughest thing to think of whatsoever.
Wow! Nunez, slide for life. Everybody gets around him. We stay green. Losing a few spots, but keeping the car under him.
Wow, that moved Kieran McGilly up to the top spot. John Poole battling with him. Nate Seeker third. Mark Walker and Timothy Bates just hanging on.
Yeah, Nunez actually came back down and slowed a bunch of cars up in front of him. Or behind him.
Oh, there, though. No, he's falling back to Mark Robertson now.
Hey, I'm not going to air out family business too much, but I was just paying attention to the phenomenal chat, and looks like the Alt F4 got used again.
Who?
Someone left the group.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
It was Tyler because he wanted to take a break.
Oh, I thought he was just.
No, he actually left. So Tyler Lugo Vickery retiring temporarily from iRacing. As John Poole continues to show the way, Kieran Bergelli sitting in second.
Look at the move with Mark Walker up that middle, 3 wide, headed off into the turn. Oh! Bumps Bergelli, pushes Bergelli to the outside wall as Bergelli does an ollie all the way around turn. Hard to the infield ball, and I think Bergelli's race is now over, set, done. Caution does not come out. We stay under green.
That was a hell of a 50-50 wall ride that Bergelli had.
When he turned in there, he took it straight to the hauler on the infield.
Yeah, Tony Hawk couldn't have done it better with a skateboard. Mark Walker battling with John Poole, Ernie Ludwig, Timothy Bates, Nate Seeker falling back to the 5th position. Maybe he's thinking discretion's a better part of valor here until we get within 30 to go.
I'm not counting out Timothy Bates here. He is absolutely flying right now.
He is up to the 4th position. Scotty Brinson, don't look now. He's run up into the 6th position looking for more.
Brinson's on a mission right now. His temper has been raised as we're back under caution.
Caution out on the track. Let me see if I can find what brought it out. That would probably be Mark McFadden.
You are correct.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tony, I know you were listening down on their chat there, and some people that you mentioned aren't happy.
Oh, Bergelli got sidechecked by Mark Walker and ended up, wow, riding along the safer barrier. That was a scary one.
Mark McFadden. He found out how bad the rumble strips are in the corner turn. He got down a little too low.
And poor Johnny Antonucci. Johnny Antonucci knew where to go.
Yeah, Johnny Antonucci cut a car to the face.
Yeah.
So, Sam, we know about fast repairs. We know we got enough fuel in the tank to get there, so we don't need to come to pit lane. We're going to hold our track position. I'm pretty certain it's going to happen. I don't know, and I didn't get a chance to ask the boss, Scotty Brinson, are we set for green water? Are we going to finish this thing like traditional under caution if it should go that far?
We're going to get another. We're going to go back to green. It was 7 laps to go, so.
Yeah, I know that, but there is no green-white checker in this Indy race, is there?
No, we're sticking to traditional IndyCar rules, so no green-white checker. It's just straight-out racing.
So we will get back green, folks, working lap 195 of 200 under caution. Guys acting like they're going to come into pits. I see two cars taking back markers, taking advantage of it, but all the lead lap cars are going to stay out on the track.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, if I'm from like Jeff Wubker back, I got nothing to lose at this point. There's 12 cars on the lead lap.
Scotty Brinson's going to start outside third row.
Scott
And
Brinson, oh yeah. Yeah, he is.
you gotta. Where do you want to restart? Okay, you're gonna go 2 by 2. Unless this is gonna be single file. But they're
I
gonna go.
haven't seen anything that says Scott switched to single file, so.
Okay, well then we're gonna go 2 by 2 out there. And where do you want to be? Where is your Sam? First, where would you want to be on this restart?
You need to be tucked right up behind the leader, as close as possible in that draft. You need to be as close as possible at the end of this race. I mean, we're looking like we're going to get a green white checker anyway. It looks like so. You need to be as close as possible behind the leader when you go back to green. Otherwise, if he manages to get away, you're not going to get past him. This setup, it's very difficult to pass with this setup once you're in that dirty air, and it's I don't know. It's impossible to tell where you can be, where you want to be. But the best place to be, in my opinion, is right behind the person in front of you.
Well, then you're talking about third position might have themselves a bit of advantage, and that's going to fall to someone we were talking about. We haven't called his number, the number 5, damn near all night. But look who has worked his way all the way up there in the P3, Timothy Bates.
Yeah, I agree with Sam there. All you can do is suck in right there behind the leader and just hope you don't get freight trained by the 3 that are coming behind you.
Timothy Bates, starting from the 14th position, worked his way up to P3, sitting in a commanding spot to run a green-white checker, lap 197 at 200 right now. If I don't see the lights go out on that pace truck, they are out on the... Nope, they're still out on the pace truck. We got one more circuit, so we'll take the round at 198. We should take the green. Whoa, that's 199.
Just want to give a big shout out to the people that are in the YouTube chat right now. A huge support for Luis Gonzalez Nunez right now. We've got Digital FPV, Neki Racing. Yeah, we got a lot of support there for Nunez right now.
Yeah, I caught a lot of the support for Nunez, and I caught a lot of it speaking Espanol, so I wanted to say, ¿Cómo estás, señores and señoras? Ahora. You know, I gotta let my... Never mind.
Yeah, don't do that again.
How does that sound? How's that go? Allahu Akbar!
No. Interesting fact about Luis Gonzalez Nunez is no, he's not. Is originally from Chile, but now resides in Canada. So
top of the morning to you, eh?
Yeah.
What in the hell? What is
That's another long story we'll get into at another time. Top of the morning to you, eh?
It's not my fault. That's
That was your fault.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
that was all
be,
you, bud.
That was 100% you for 24 hours. Top of the morning to you, eh?
that was Let me tell you a story to the viewers while we're still on the caution. In the was it the 2018 Daytona? No, it was
2019 24 hours of Daytona.
Yep.
And we took part in that race, and we finished third, which is go us. But we spotted a team there that was from Canada. No, that was from Canada, but had an Irish paint scheme on their car. They literally had an Irish flag draped all over the car. So we just instantly assumed
it was a team full of Canadians.
Yeah. So
and Sam being the smartass that he is.
Every time we lapped them,
every time we went and lapped the car because they were in the lower class. We were running prototype and they were running the GT class. Every time we go to lap them, Sam would jump on the driver's chat in sim and go, "Top of the morning to you, eh?"
Top of the morning to you. I live in Ireland. I'm half Irish. I can get away with it.
Yeah,
You're
but I
still-
think that
you're
went
still
on for
addicted.
24 hours.
Yes.
Top of the morning to you, eh?
I didn't notice it until the 18th hour. Pretty much.
Yeah, the morning was the sun was starting to rise.
Oh, yeah.
All right, which one of you two fiends, the founders of ESPN, want to take us to this final green flag start? We're coming up.
Tony, the honor's all
Lights
yours, dude.
are out on the pace truck one more time. Pull those belts tight. Grandpa Papa Viagra, it's getting close. We're down to the nitty-gritty time. Green and white should come out at the same time.
No, green, white checker.
Yeah, it is green, white checker? Okay.
Yeah.
Because for some reason my lap stopped counting. As the pace truck is in, here we go. Poole holds him down, still holding him, finally rolls into it. And Walker gets a great restart, is able to jump down. But here comes Bates and here comes Ludwig.
Yeah, and Ludwig having a fine race here tonight. Here comes Safka to the inside of Ludwig. Safka's not done here, guys.
No, he is not. Still on the green flag, working lap 199. We should see.
3 wide.
Whoa, man, they are not giving an inch. Mark Walker and John Poole slugging it out in the front of the field.
As Poole just threw a huge block. I believe that was Tim Bates right behind him that he just tried to hold him up. Now in the slipstream of Walker, flirting with the pit wall.
Yeah, you got to put those moves on. We are in the final. And
That's gonna be
Safka, John
angry-
Paul are in it.
angry
Tim
call
Bates is
going on
going to
there.
win. Tim Bates is the winner.
They had already taken the white flag.
Yeah, Tim Bates has got a huge lead, though. I'd be very shocked if they can catch him before the checkered flag here.
Heartbreak on the final lap of the Indy 500 in the Top Fuel Racing League.
Oh my goodness me. Timothy Bates comes out of turn 4, down towards the yard of bricks. Timothy Bates in the number 5 claims Indy 5 glory. And what a race that has been, boys. I am absolutely ecstatic with that finish.
Timothy Bates, your race winner in the number 5 entry. Ernie Ludwig bringing it home for a 2nd place and finishing on the podium this year. Scotty Brinson bringing home the 3rd. Don't look now, but our Ronnie Osmer worked his way from heartbreak up. Oh! More controversy, a little more, we're a little mad at you on the back straight. And rounding out the top 5 tonight.
Oh, that was cool.
Luis Gonzalez Nunez.
And you might as well say it now, boys. You might as well say it now. Or can I say it?
Go for it.
It's all you.
Luis Gonzalez Nunez, the number 35, bringing home the ESPN Driver of the Night. Congratulations going out to Luis Gonzalez Nunez, top 5 in ESPN Driver of the Night.
Yeah, worked himself. Had a great run tonight. He he's not going to be able to pick up the biggest mover because he didn't lay down a qualifying lap. Started 27th on the grid, brought home the top 5, showed the colors that he needed to get to the front. Had a shot at it right there before the end, but wow, in massive controversial stuff. We had a great race, man, and it just came all the way down. Timothy Bates, Ernie Ludwig, and Scotty Brinson.
Well, if my high-powered gazintas are working right, Tim Bates not only won the race, he also got biggest mover.
Wow, that'd be a double whammo.
Yeah, an extra $5 on top of what, $220?
Yeah.
Wow.
Started 14th and won the dang thing. And that car is so bent to hell, he can barely do burnouts.
Well, we're not catching the burnouts right now, but I will say one thing we're going to catch. I normally start with my 3rd place finisher, but I'm scared.
I'm
User
terrified.
joined your channel.
Yeah, me too.
Well, you know what? I can be scared all I want, and you can be terrified all you want, but you know what?
pays
On
the
the
bills.
podium, he pays the bills. He puts this league on, and I can't say enough about the man. And, he asked that I bring the broadcast to you all tonight, and I was proud to do it for him. He managed to work his way through some serious controversy tonight, not only having to do it behind the wheel, but having to do it behind the scenes while he's behind the wheel, and still manages a top 3 finish on the podium. Your league owner and driver of the number 14, Scotty Brinson.
Yeah, I'm here.
Man, talk to me about that race. I seen you faded back, you behind the scenes, off the radar, work your way slowly up the field, and toward the closing stages, I seen you working your way up in that top 10 bit by bit. I had you pegged for a top 6 finish, and you managed to bring her home in that 3rd spot with some great moves. I watched that restart, man, and bringing her down low, using every inch of that racetrack. Tell me about your race finish.
Well, Ernie not got in my way all goddamn night. I would have had a much better finish and would have probably had a chance to run Tim down. But I'm going to tell you what, I'm about done with the dumbasses who come out here and call themselves drivers and get the fuck in my way. I've just had enough of it. So, yeah, it's nice to finish 3rd. But as you saw, I removed Rick from the race because of his bullshit and him feeling like he's entitled and bouncing off every wall. And then Ernie behind him slamming on the brakes in every corner and going down the back stretch slamming on the brakes. So, as you can tell, I'm pretty pissed off, and I'm just tired of the dumb shit. I had another driver who's a veteran here who hadn't been here in a little while, and he's been here for, 3 or 4 years earlier in the race. He hit the wall, and he waited till I got right up on him, and then cuts for the pits and damn near took me out. So, I mean, it's every week, man. I've reached my end with it. We got 3 more races, and I'm done with it.
Well, folks, here you hear it. The league owner, he's not a happy camper. There were some things that did happen, and I knew there were going to be some bad feelings.
I'm tired of the dumb shit. I've had enough. I'm not putting up with it no more. I got better shit to do on a Wednesday night than be in an attitude like this, especially finishing 3rd place. But I want to congratulate Tim Bates for winning the race. I'm going to go ahead and congratulate Ernie, even though he was in my fucking way all night long, for 2nd place. Good job, guys. I don't give a shit, Sam. I'm past it. Sorry if I get you a strike, but I just don't care no more.
Yeah, but please don't disrespect my booth.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. No, I'm not. It's no disrespect, man. I'm fired up, and I'm just speaking my mind. That's what this is all about.
Yeah.
I've said it for how long, Sam? You're my witness. I've been preaching for months, dude, and people are still doing. I mean, Rick out there bouncing off every wall and almost wrecking himself in the grass, and he should know better. And Ernie behind him, why he just didn't go around him, I don't know, but I can't take it no more. I don't care to. But congratulations to the winner, Mr. Tim Bates.
Enough of the negativity, awesome. Man. Holy crap, can you believe it, dude? Now, oh my God, I'm so excited.
I'll cut out here.
Woke up the grandkid. I lost my headset, man.
All right, Timmy, hang on one second, man. I'm going to get out of here, and I'll let you all do the rest of the broadcast. Byron and Tony, I want to appreciate you guys for being here tonight. Tony, it's great to have you back, man. Sorry that you came back when shit's all the way it is, but it's good to see you back, and I look forward to watching the race. Well, kind of anyway. But anyway, enjoy.
So strong words from league owner Scotty Brinson. Joining us now,
User left your channel.
The man with the golden horseshoe in his pocket and a rabbit's foot up his butt, Tim Bates. Man, you got to confirm this for us, Tim. When that accident happened, did some poo come out?
No, so you can confirm with my teammates, man. Look, I seen them up there, and I was like, hey. Look, there was Mark had been running a little aggressive, and I get it, man. Get up there, but he had, real aggressive on the bottom line. And I was like, look, man, I'm sitting behind John Poole. Let me just jump up there. I haven't had a podium. I've been racing Top Fuel racing. I think, I don't know, Sam, what is it? By at least 3 seasons now. The only podium I've ever had was in the Light Series. I mean, I've been right there. I mean, I've had a bunch of leads, all that stuff, got some poles. And I was like, man, I'm due. Won that Indy 500 fix last week. Again, it was a weaker field.
Who was it before the race told me they had a half a glass of milk? And we're getting ready to pour it on?
That was me. I'm going to fill that thing all the way up now, man. I got to go buy me. I don't know how I'm going to go to sleep.
All I want to know is I need you to give me 5 random numbers that range between 1
Yeah,
and
no
40,
kidding, man,
and
no
I'm
kidding,
going to
no
go play those in the lottery.
Look, I've been saying, I've said for a long time, it's like, man, I got this. It's hard to race, 500 miles with a horseshoe up your butt. But man, I've been this past 2 weeks, and look, I gotta throw, a lot. My teammates, holy cow, Chris been helping me out tremendously. Nate, all them guys, John and Frank and Jeff. Me and Jeff were in the back. And we were running pretty good, and then early on in this race, got caught up in something, and I didn't mean to. I was trying to weave away from it, got caught up in it. I ran 100 laps with a damaged car, and I was like, look, I'm not going to use this fast spare. And I got put down a lap down. I was like, and you can ask some guys, man, I was complaining. I was like, man, I should have used it early. And literally I come in, and I got that, and then I started thinking maybe I didn't need the fast repair. Maybe I was just slow. And then I got that fast repair, came out with like 70 laps left, and then I was flying and making up, again, a whole lap down. A lot of things had to happen, obviously, Rick, and I know there's a lot of drama going on with everything else like that, but a lot of things fell in place. But you know what? I don't care about none of that. I just woke up my grandson. My headset fell off. I was screaming out loud. My mom, who lives in my house, I got 8 people in my house. They came down. They're like, "Are you okay? You having a stroke in here?" I was like, "No, yeah, might as well. I just won the Indy 500."
Well, you know what?
Man, I'm so excited. I cannot tell you.
Tim, I spoke to you literally 2 weeks before the season started, and what did I tell you?
Yeah, I'm gonna win one this year. You said I'm gonna win. You didn't say I was gonna win the Indy 500 though, did you, Sammy?
I did.
You said I was gonna win a race in Top Fuel Racing this year. You didn't say I was gonna win the Indy 500.
Hey,
and
you know
Top
what?
Fuel
You called
Racing.
it yourself, because pre-race, when I was talking with all you drivers, I heard some smart ass, piped up and said, "I got a half a glass of milk. I'm going to be pouring all over me." I said, "Why are you going to do that?" "Because I'm going to win this thing." I said, "You're going to pour it all over someone else then." You know what? Dude, I want a freaking picture on Facebook posted with you wearing milk.
You got it, brother. Listen, you can ask these other guy, Byron. I have that fine line between confidence and cocky, and I'm really cocky. So I had no intention of winning this race. I knew I was fast. I knew a lot of my teammates were fast. I knew just Top Fuel Racing, dude. Winning the Indy 500 in this league is, come on, man. These guys, holy crap, man. Man, I'm so happy right now. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. I'm going to have to take off tomorrow. I'm just so excited, man. Is it time for me to give my thanks, or how do we do this? I've never been up here.
Whatever you want to do, man.
I've never been up here in the booth. So what's next, Sam? What's next?
I'll tell you what's next, man. Anyone you want to throw a shout out to?
Oh, man. Hell yeah.
I think you already shouted out to everyone and the kitchen sink.
I know, man. Hey, listen, this might be the last time I ever get up here, but No Limit Racing, man. Now, all them guys, they know who they are, and yeah, we always make fun of it. It's hard. We got quite a few team members, but look, every one of them they helped me out tremendously. They were all in the race. Scott putting on the race, I know he had a rough time. I know he had some issues tonight, and I hope I know this is, oh man, feel bad for him. Rick had, I don't know. Anyways, all that stuff, when it comes down to, I don't care, man. I just won the Indy 500 and Top Fuel Racing.
Oh, there you go. There's your race winner, everyone. Happier than you can imagine. Timothy Bates. You know what? Sam, Pat, come on, guys. Give me your final thoughts on the race tonight, man. 3 minutes and we're going to wind this thing up and go join the party.
Well, I got to say that whole center section of the race where we went over 100 laps, green flag, was beautiful. It was beautiful to watch. It was refreshing to watch. Yeah, there was a couple cautions towards the end. Temper started flaring, but that's what happens when you put money on the line in a race like this. And it comes down to what I was talking about earlier. Cream rises to the top when it's go time. Tim, congratulations on that win, sir.
Hey, I appreciate that, Tony, but I don't know if it's cream at the top. I think it might be that spoiled milk. That spoiled milk rose to the top, but guess what? I'll be spoiled milk tonight.
Sam, your thoughts final. Closing out the Indy 500.
Hey, look, I appreciate you guys, Byron, Tony, right? I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys putting it. Man, I can't wait to rewatch. Obviously, I'm gonna rewatch it. I'll probably watch it tomorrow at work. I'm gonna watch it the next day. I might watch it next week. I might show my grandkid when he gets a little older.
Well, I tell you what, man, have everyone over there at work and everyone when you watch it next week, tell them to throw a like down on YouTube and subscribe to the ESPN channel, man. We're only, what, 7 away?
Yeah, you got it. Hey, I appreciate all what you guys did. I know it was a long race tonight, and actually we finished pretty early, considering. Again, Sam, love what you do. Where'd you finish at, Sam?
Last.
No, you didn't finish.
I did.
You said you were gonna wreck me. You said how you were coming for me. You're gonna wreck me. Remember that?
No, yeah. Well,
before the race started, you said you were coming for me. You're gonna wreck me.
Sam
Wow.
Cooper Bennett bringing home the 28th finishing position, 59 laps off the lead.
yeah.
man.
That's because I stepped on my junk in my second pit stop, and then some jackass decided to hack the friggin' the TeamSpeak server and then distract me into a wall. So you know.
Yeah, that was some wild stuff tonight, folks.
I know there was all kinds of stuff going on. But again, hey, thanks again, Scott. I cannot give thanks enough to Scott. I know I've done different gambling pools and all that stuff where you have to collect money and things like that, and it's a pain in the butt. He arranged all this stuff. There were some times when it was rough a couple weeks ago, and he want to move forward with this. And I don't know any other leagues out here that does a pot like this where we race for it. And big thanks to him again, the team, you guys. Hey man, can't wait. Where are we going? Milwaukee next week?
Milwaukee, gonna bring you back down to earth with a bump.
No, Sam. How many points am I out from the championship? I'm just joking. Love you guys, man. Thanks, man. I'm out here.
All righty. All right, man. You know what?
I love it.
I got buttons to push, everyone. It's been real. It's been fun for ESPN. I'm Byron Rodney.
Love
Back
it, Byron.
to Paso
Love it,
and Sam.
Thanks, Sammy.
Cooper Bennett.
Yeah,
Everyone, good night.
See you next week.
These motherfuckers
Yes,
all leave.
sir.